I so fucking am.
Yeah, I kind of went to the concert. I saw everyone else's Instagram recordings. So it was like
Yeah,
being there.
yeah. The weird thing is, and I saw like, so when we got tickets, like they had the fan pre-sale, which we had the code for, but apparently everyone else did because the fan pre-sale sold out. Like the
Nice.
first show, she sold out the
Wow.
first show on the fan pre-sale, so they had to book the second show.
That's
So like,
fantastic.
yeah, so that was pretty cool. So that's unfortunately that also is the point at which I believe she gets to the point at which you start to outgrow the tabernacle.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it is her backyard, but still, there comes a time where you outgrow, Variety Playhouse, and then the tabernacle, and then
Right.
the next time she's going to be playing an arena. Next time she's going to be playing Phillips.
Yeah, it'll be Phillips Arena.
Yeah, next time
Like,
it'll be
look,
Phillips.
it's kind of like Donald Glover, where it's like now Childish is like, okay, how many more times can you fit everyone into the tabernacle? Because now everyone knows you and
Well, the
likes
next
you.
time he's coming through is like Infinite Energy.
I believe so.
Yeah, it's Infinite. I couldn't even get tickets to that.
Yeah. Neither could
And
I.
if Tuffley can't, no one can.
Well, we'll see. I've got a Blackhawks season opener I want to go to, but we don't know.
Who is this Donald Glover? I haven't heard anything about him.
No, Childish Gambino?
Donald. Yeah. He's just Donald. Occasionally writes for SNL, occasionally writes for 30 Rock, occasionally writes for Community.
Ain't writing
occasionally
for Deadpool, though.
Right. Well, hold on. He wrote for Deadpool, ended up having to leave.
Well, did he leave or did they get it pulled?
Well, the story came out this week. TCA was this week, so the FX guy was talking, and he was asked that question, and apparently Marvel was the one who got cold feet about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess that means it's all in the family now, because technically, well, not technically, well, it's still being worked out, but Disney kind of does own FX now, so.
Yes. That and my left toe. I believe they own a portion of that in the movie rights.
Really?
Your left toe?
My left toe. I only have one toe on my left side.
Is that a My Three Sons prequel? I'm not familiar with the material.
No, it's the follow-up story from Daniel Day-Lewis's smash hit, My Left Foot.
It's the story. It's the untold story of the left toe. It was something that needed to be said.
Go ahead, John. You can admit it. You had a tragic Disney accident that left you forever scarred at the theme park.
Yes.
That you have signed away an NDA that's ironclad, and they may take a child.
Well, theoretically, isn't that everyone who lives in Florida?
Basically. Oh my God! Did you see the Florida man story from this week, where the guy was drunk? Yes, he got drunk, made a beer run carrying a live alligator, and doesn't remember. He's like, "Really? I did it." I was like, "I don't remember none of that."
It was Florida this week. That's all I can say.
Look, it's Florida every week.
Considering what's going on in the federal government, yes, it is Florida every week.
Yes, you've expanded. It was probably a guy. Look, it's probably a guy in Florida who set California on fire.
Again, let me clarify. My county went blue, just for the record.
It doesn't matter.
There's only 3 of our counties in the state, but this one went blue.
Look, it doesn't matter.
Wait, is that hair color or?
Yes, hair color.
Okay.
Well, yes, with the number of older people in Florida.
Yeah, but
it's like the Golden Girls every day.
Listen, blue hair is not just for old people anymore.
I understand that, but you still primarily see it with older people.
It's a pause. Refreshes every 15 minutes. And we can just
yes. Yes.
What? Where are the rest of our members?
I don't know.
No, don't go there, John. I saw the joke forming in your head. Don't do that. It's Rob.
Hold on. I'm gonna find a pentagram and some bourbon and summon the rest of them.
Well, we have some summoning. Some semblance of summoning.
Exactly. What ingredients do you need? I'm gonna need some bacon, a bottle of bourbon, preferably a single malt.
Hello.
Hello.
God, don't get quiet just because I joined.
Hey,
He's here. Don't tell Rob.
Hey, Rob.
Hi, Rob. Hi, guy who's not here.
I just don't have the camera hooked up right now.
that's
Me
okay.
neither.
It looks very nondescript and cool, so don't worry about
This
it.
is where I pop and go, "Hi, I'm Rox."
That also doubles for Scott too, doesn't it?
Definitely, I have that shirt.
Ah, stop it.
So we now have matching Doc Martens and matching shirts.
Oh, did you get the Joy Division docs?
I got the Joy Division and the Power, Corruption, and Lies docs.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. See, I didn't. The Technique ones looked a bit weird, so I only got the Joy Division ones.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
But
get
Tom
those.
wants to know if you got Craftworks or not.
What?
No,
Sorry,
nothing.
sorry, sir. What?
I said Dom wants to know if you got Craftwork or not.
We didn't make crap.
Nobody in Germany listens to Kraftwerk. I'm sorry.
No, that
I
was.
meant Scorpions. The Scorpions.
They
Nobody in
exported
Germany
that.
listens to the Scorpions either.
Oh, I meant David
No.
Hasselhoff.
Yes, that's what we do. We do listen.
No, I would get Kraftwerk docs, but I wouldn't get Falco docs though. But I'd probably get Nina docs.
But I would get Amadeus.
Dom, did I send you the picture of me at Falco's grave yet?
Was it a fresh
In his
grave?
or at his grave?
Yeah, at his grave, yeah.
I know
So-
this is weird.
This will be the weird pregame. So we're in Vienna, right? Janet and I are in Vienna on our honeymoon. And you can go to this really cool old cemetery in Vienna and literally Brahms, Beethoven, Mozart, Strauss, like all the great composers are all buried together, like in like these long, they took great effort to have these huge like columns and they're all buried next to each other, right? And it's this really cool old cemetery, right? So you go there and they give you a little list of all the people that are buried there. It's like, okay, there's all these great composers. You can tell that by the hordes of Japanese people there, right? Then they say, oh, here's where the cast of Hogan's Heroes is. You can go see the General and then Falco. And I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. And this guy was telling me, this guy from Jenny, you have to go. It's insane. So you go, and first of all, it's got like a little flat tombstone and a level under it where people put literally candles. It was like seeing Elvis. There's like hundreds of burning candles, right? Then he's got this like plexiglass half circle thing above his tombstone with a picture of him on each side holding a cake in front of his face, right? And then along the side of the top of it, it says, and underneath it says Falco, #1 pop star. And then across the top of it, it lists all of his chart hits.
Yeah.
You know, that's a lot of trouble to go to for the character from Star Fox.
Yes.
With that, Dom is upset.
Oh my God.
He said, "Forget it. I've had enough."
I think.
Oh no, he came
There
back.
it is. I'm really sorry.
I wasn't
about
insulted. I actually tried to fix something.
Next year, Jan and I are going to do Germany. So we'll see.
What?
Oops.
Whoops.
Stop pressing
Oh, my
buttons.
Lord. I have now found a photo of said grave.
Oh, you did?
You are right. It is insane. I'm going to copy link address.
You have no idea how big Falco was here.
Yeah. I do. When I went to the record store and I said, "Hey, you got any Kraftwerk?" They said, "No, we got Falco and Hasselhoff."
I mean, it depends on which record store you go to, but they will all have Falco.
Well, that was Vienna too. That's like the it doesn't really count. That's part of Germany.
I love their sausages.
Yes.
Yeah, so they tell me.
That's disgusting.
Okay, I've never seen his grave. This is really a little bit much.
There you are.
That's technically that's a monument.
Yeah.
Why does it say?
I mean, if we're gonna get technical about that,
but it was great too because I saw the.
I believe it's a monument, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. Oh, hey.
Hey.
Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's an obelisk behind him. Okay.
Yep.
Don't throw bones at the monolith. That's how we get crazy space babies.
I want crazy space babies.
Well, then maybe you should.
Hey, Dom, when are you going to New England?
In September.
Let me know how it is, man. I've never been up. I hear like New England's beautiful. So.
Wow. Let me know how it is on my own country.
Well, I hate the Patriots, and
and the people aren't there.
The people in Boston actually really talk like that. It's not. It's like going to a different planet. I'm just warning you.
You do realize the people in Boston hate the Patriots too, right?
You do realize we speak a different language.
One of them's from North Carolina.
Everybody I know in Boston is literally like insane about the Patriots. It's like that's why I wanted the Falcons to beat them so badly. But anyway.
I don't care about American sports or German sports at all, so I'm fine.
All right. Well, just they talk like that though. When you hear the whole park the car in Harvard Yard thing, and they really talk like that. Any American movie where you hear somebody doing a Boston accent, that's really how they
don't pronounce their R's.
I've been to Ireland. I've seen the opposite.
And the streets in Boston, change names without any sort of pretense at all. And we're comfortable shoes because most of it's cobblestone in Boston. Yeah.
I like those warnings. I live in a town that consists mostly of cobblestone. Even the people are made of it.
Your cobblestone was made by people that have made cobblestone for hundreds and hundreds of years and know what the hell they were doing. We got the least common denominator that made cobblestones hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And,
we have a castle in Orlando, though.
Yeah.
And an echo.
Oh, it's still echoing? Hello.
Yeah, you're echoing slightly.
So, Dom, I'm glad you're here. I was worried about you.
Why were you worried about me?
I thought you might have been a captive of Russia.
No, that's your entire country. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
Yeah,
it's funny because it's true.
Yeah.
This is the one time where we go, the Germans were right.
No, it's not the one time.
No.
When was the other time, Widge?
Anything before or after 33 between 45 period that never happened.
The Weimar Republic, and also the hey, we can build better highways than you.
Well, we drive a lot faster, which is kind of stupid, but
yeah.
My understanding is that you guys listen to a lot of Sammy Hagar out there as well.
Hey, Germany took the Hasselhoff bullet for us. So,
John, all I have to say is I was told to be nice by management. Thank you.
Have I ever shared with you that one performance of his where he sang in German, where all those women came to him and gave him flowers? I should really give you that link. Wait a second.
Oh God.
Oh God.
What's disturbing is you have the link readily available.
No.
WEJ, while you were gone, we have a link to Falco's grave that I visited inadvertently, and now we're talking about Sammy Hagar. Thanks.
Okay.
I would ask how Hagar is.
I would ask how we got onto Falco, but I know better.
Yeah, it's like
yes,
you do realize this show, right?
We were discussing the latest tax laws that were going into effect. And that's how we got to Falco.
Oh, okay, of course.
Okay. There's the link. Just mute it unless you want to hear him sing. And you may skip to 420 to see all those fans coming to him. And yeah, it's from 1994, just to give you a quick reference. That's when Clerks and Pulp Fiction came out.
Oh, hey, Rob.
Yes.
I was just checking online. Here's apparently something Germany was right about. Uranus.
Wow.
They discovered it.
Yeah. You know, the Germans discovered a lot of things.
I know. But I'm just saying, they specifically discovered Uranus.
And it hit very well.
Now, let me just say the moral of the story is even I have realized you should not always listen to rocks. But so I'm doing a panel at DragonCon on Weimar, Germany. And it's like After Effects and popular culture, right? With rocks, but it's at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Isn't this how most panels at DragonCon get started?
I never have done a panel at 1 a.m. The panels I've done at 1 a.m. at DragonCon are called, "Hey, I'm going to get the bar."
Hey, those are the best panels, by the way.
And also, you can just call me if you need something translated at 1 a.m.
You know, I might do that.
That's true.
I was afraid you'd hang up on me.
That's what? That's like 7 over there, right?
Dude, I'm totally gonna send you some stuff that I want you to sort of like. I might have you just do like translate it for a dumb American. Like, this is what this means, or this is how to pronounce this.
Well, as if the pronunciation would help you in any way.
Well, you know,
I'll be right back. I need to go.
Either I pronounce it, or somebody from the South pronounces it like this is the Wiener Republic. That's what it's going to sound like if you don't help me.
Well, it's fine. I don't think you will do better with training.
Okay. Yeah, that's what my wife said.
Warning.
Oh, God, John, I hate you.
By the way, we should point out this is 1994 for Hasselhoff, not Morrissey 2018. We should point that out.
We should also point out at no point is he seeking a hamburger on the floor.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
So, definitely.
I think we're being taken over by the Hoff.
So, Tuffley, is this Morrissey thing really a downer for you too now?
Well, here's the thing. If you section it off as just the solo stuff, it's fine because that's what only 2 songs people know. So, so I mean, the most embarrassing thing is I keep listening to radio shows where they're asking Johnny Marr, you think this hurts the Smiths' legacy? And he has to keep answering that question like, no, I don't think so.
Well, the best thing I heard is, I don't know if it was Stephen Street or Mike Joyce, one said, no, the legacy got damaged when he never paid us. So, because Stephen Street's still waiting to get paid, and I think Joyce and Rourke are waiting to get paid.
So, it's just
fucking weird.
It's weird. And I said this last year. Young Morrissey would thrash the hell out of old Morrissey.
Yes.
Which is like a Days of Future Past thing I kind of want to see now.
Yeah.
Will this Morrissey have bone claws?
I don't know.
Doesn't this one?
That's a good point. So, okay, what has he done this time? I don't keep up with Morrissey updates.
Never really stopped.
Oh, okay.
So
he's just being Morrissey, basically. Nothing specific.
Well, before he was Morrissey, and he was like pretentious and vegetarian and had a superiority complex and kind of weird. And now he's, vegan and pretentious and kind of weird, but also racist,
Yeah, also kind of racist and very
we didn't see all the other stuff we knew about. We just didn't see the racist thing coming. At least I did.
I did. Look,
Can I just repeat? Can I just say that basically we've just summarized America, where the white guy says, well, we knew all about the other shit, but we didn't see the racist thing coming. And the black guy says, I did.
Ooh, I know the answer to this.
Doesn't matter what the subject is. Doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
And I'm sure you've seen the Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock election night Saturday Night Live skit, right? Where they're all standing behind this couch of white people, and they're going, "This is the worst thing ever to happen to America." And Chappelle and Chris Rock are standing behind. Yeah, that's the worst thing. It's the worst possible thing.
Right. We're not going to get down on the Trail of Tears or slavery or Jim Crow or any of those things that are on the list.
And they're going, I didn't see this coming. And they're back there going, we did.
Well, I mean, I saw that coming. I just didn't see it coming from more.
Oh, I did. I stopped listening a long time ago due to some things. I'm like, nope, I'm out.
Well, see, that's why I'm saying if you count, if you section off the solo career, it's fine because that's only what, 2 songs. So
nah, he's on my R. Kelly list, dude. I'm done.
No, that's what I'm saying. You know,
Wait, who's he been picking on?
R. Kelly.
Whoa, John.
He had this short movie out and nobody liked it, and since then.
He said quite a few short movies out if you're looking in the right places.
John, there's a list.
Although, as I was pointing out to someone earlier, we actually got off easy this time because imagine what would happen if an actual intelligent villain had become president of the United States. We'd be in real shit.
You mean like Putin?
No, like Mike Pence.
I was just about to say that.
Hey,
I don't know how smart he is, but he's certainly smart.
He's playing the long game.
well, I will say this. Because everyone's like, oh, we can't get rid of Trump because of Pence. I'm like, look, at least you can say what Pence is going to do 24, 36 hours from now.
You might not like it.
You might. No, you know you're not going to like it. But at least you know what it is. As opposed to, you know, which position is being had on what at when, and who are we trying to go to war over Twitter with? What is that? Oh, that all changed while I was asleep. Oh fuck! Why am I ever sleeping?
If I'm paying attention right, we are at war with LeBron James, right? Is that what's going on?
We have always been at war with LeBron James.
We are not with war with LeBron James.
No,
the White House might be, but we are not. As a lifelong Lakers fan,
okay, no problem.
I mean, we are Trump is not
firmly entrenched on the side of LeBron James.
Yes. Okay.
Suddenly on the side of LeBron James. You know, a little money.
He's not playing it. Yeah, you know, he's in purple and gold now. Of course, I'm on his side.
And what if he'd gone to Boston instead?
So he's a Catholic now, a Catholic priest? Because sorry, it's a sports reference, isn't it?
Again, yes, sorry.
Reference, yes.
Yes, it's an American sports reference.
But
don't worry. We'd like to thank you for the many years of service of Detlef Schrempf in Indiana. Schrempf was an excellent German ball player. We also would like to thank you for Dirk Nowitzki. Amazing Hall of Famer.
He's really a good at whatever he does.
Yes, whatever he does.
Things, right?
Absolutely.
Worst things.
And we'd like to thank you for stacking blocking too.
Stacking blocking.
It's this German game show. It's fucking like crack, man. You can't stop watching it.
What?
Yeah.
Is it as good as this though?
Can you type it out? Maybe I know that.
It's spelled like it sounds. Stacking blocking.
Of course it is.
It sounds like the Buccaneers' new offensive line.
It sounds like somebody's having a stroke.
No one knows what you're talking about.
I do.
Damn it, Rob, you're not helping.
No, actually, it'd be stacking and not.
I've never seen that word before.
That's all right. I'll send you a link. Why am I showing you on German TV? That's weird.
Maybe you're not. Let's find out.
I'll send you
That's like you watching Real Housewives of Atlanta, Rob.
Oh, God.
Okay, then.
See?
That's when we know he's a Skrull.
And it's spelled blocking with a B-O-L-C-H-E-N.
Yeah.
You spelled it wrong.
Okay, I see an old Conan O'Brien clip when I Google it.
That's correct.
Yes.
But what does it mean? I've never heard the word, even though I believe I know German reasonably well. Can anyone please clarify? Apparently, Germans are ashamed when they hear the word. Tell us, are you ashamed right now, Dominic?
Which word?
And what level of shame are you? Stacking, blocking.
That's not a German word, and I'm ashamed at about -100.
Okay.
Don't be ashamed.
Well, there you have it, folks. A real live German person.
Don't be ashamed. We're American.
-100 is not a shame. It's pretty much I can take a little bit of shame from you and just neutralize it.
No,
I have zero shame ever. You're drawing from a dead well, then.
I wasn't talking to you specifically because I think you're fine.
You'll be okay.
So you're saying he's fine?
Yeah, I think somebody else on the call is probably ashamed, but I don't think it's him.
Is this one of the new Solve This games?
Yes.
Is this how we're doing this? Let's play Who's Ashamed.
Yeah, I all I can say is I'm taking notes. Keep going.
That's a good one.
Yes, I'm ashamed.
And now back to John in the newsroom.
Here's Tom with the weather.
Breaking news: we have a high-speed car chase.
I'm being the helicopter. Go.
That's what you're doing. Okay, fine.
This is like my wife's drawer.
Wait, I need you to be slow.
Whoa, back up.
Whoa, I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay with
Wait, are you talking about the noise? Are you talking about the noise Madman was making, or are you talking about stack and blocking?
Yes.
I'm leaving. All of those. He's saying yes to all of those.
See, if you can combine all of them, then you get to shame.
My wife is German.
Really?
Yeah. Her both of her parents are German nationals. They immigrated over here.
Oh, okay.
When?
A year before.
Did you say they were both German nationalists?
No, national.
I'd like to apologize to John's in-laws. We love you. We really do. But we're going to need to see your papers.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So any tips
checkpoint?
Any tips when it comes to driving on the East Coast? Because that's what I'm going to do very soon.
Don't.
Yeah.
Suggestion.
The roads are horrible. It's all salted and cracked from the ice, so you're screwed. It's going to be like
Okay. Dom, I have a friend of mine who's a travel writer in New England. And all he does is write about like places to go and stuff to see in New England. But I'm going to send you all of his information because he did this really cool how to see New England if you have 10 days. But he made this huge list of like, if you like good wine, go here. If you want seafood, go here. Here's how to beat rush hour traffic. Here's where all the record stores are. I mean, it's just like insane.
That would be great. Just send it over. Thank you.
But I hear I hear like people go to see the leaves turn, and I hear it's beautiful. So the only favor I'm going to ask you, Dom, right? Is I'm going to ask you one favor, right?
Mm-hmm.
The part that WEJ is absolutely terrified about. But if at all possible, please buy a lighthouse for Rox and I.
A complete real life
Yes.
Lighthouse.
They're selling it because they're not using lighthouses anymore that much. They're selling all these lighthouses on the eastern seaboard.
Okay, what's your budget?
I thought it'd be a gift.
Oh, I see.
This has suddenly become the strangest episode of House Hunters ever.
In the same way that France gave us the Statue of Liberty, I thought you could buy Rox and I a lighthouse.
So, Dom, I got 2 words for you.
Mm-hmm.
Snow globe.
Snow globe.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, snow globe.
Snow globe with a lighthouse in it.
No, real lighthouse that we can walk in.
Snow globe with a real lighthouse in
accept no gift whatsoever unless it is a real.
Yes.
Shrunken lighthouse inside of a.
Well, are you still trying to do your Life is Strange fanfic video, Rob? Is that what's going on?
No.
We are all inside of the lighthouse now.
Have we started the podcast yet?
No.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Have we?
Have we?
I don't know.
No idea.
All right.
Do we ever start the podcast?
Do we ever end it?
That's right. Have we ever ended the first podcast?
Yes.
Welcome to hour 274 of the telethon.
God.
Exactly. Go on, let's reel him out. Come on.
So, so every year, WEJ, the Library of Congress, picks these films to be put into preservation as like American treasures, right?
Yeah.
I have mailed them a letter.
Okay.
I want the lighthouse.
It's got to be Convoy.
Dear Library of Congress, do you have a lighthouse?
The National Registry of Great American Films.
Convoy.
Yes.
Nice.
I just want the rejection letter. That's all I want.
We're rejecting Convoy on these following grounds.
Somebody's requesting Convoy again. Should we just put it in?
Have you seen it?
Yep. I think when I was younger. Love the song.
Yeah.
I mean, you're 12 now. How much younger are we talking?
Like, walk around Germany talking like a trucker, like an American trucker. It'll be great.
This has the makings of a perfectchange.org petition.
Yes.
Who knew Dom was going to be the MCU US 1?
Yeah.
Thank you, Tuffley.
Oh, God.
That's
our press memories. Thank you.
How long are you in New England anyway?
Excuse me?
How long are you going to be in New England?
That's one of those questions my girlfriend really can answer. About 10 days, actually. So.
Oh, man, I'm so jealous. Have a good time. And I mean that nicely.
Well, I'm glad when I get into the country and I can leave the airport on my own.
Yeah.
Because I recently saw this article about people from New Mexico who were, held back because people on the airport thought, well, you're not from the United States, you're from New Mexico. And about 7 people did not know that was an actual American state. So I don't know.
Well, don't worry. Due to the current administration, you're being a German citizen. You're automatically put in the express line to get through.
Well, I'm pale as fuck. That helps.
Wipe your phone, dude.
Is your hair blonde? No, it's not.
No, but I don't have a beard.
Okay, well, these are all going positive for you.
Yeah,
I know. And there's also always this immigration quote unquote immigration form where I have to say, were you a member of the Waffen SS? I wasn't even born then, but no, I wasn't. No, really.
Well, that's current administration. That's a negative on you.
I know. But I have an excuse. I wasn't even born then.
Wouldn't it be, did you vote for Bismarck?
Yeah.
And if you voted for Bismarck, they would let you in the country.
No, I would understand if people voted for Bismarck.
I would too. Yeah, I'd take Bismarck right now if we could get him. Or Bismarcky.
Exactly, because he's got what you need, even though you say he's just a friend.
Thank you.
I say he's just a friend.
Yeah, say he's just a friend.
I work with a kid who doesn't know who Bismarcky is. It's really embarrassing.
Really?
It's not at the record store, though, is it?
No, it's I work at like this at a library, and basically it's the kids don't know anything about it. It's just toughly. It's sad.
How sad is it?
No, like I had to explain who Lou Reed was. I had to explain who Tom Waits was.
Strangle him with the microfiche.
We don't have microfiche. It's Missouri. We don't read.
Sir, then you don't have a real library.
I know. They don't have Convoy. Next time I write Disney.
Library of Congress. I would like my local library to carry a copy of Convoy. Can you make that happen?
Or we should do it like the Gideon's Bible and just travel the country putting copies of Convoy on VHS in every motel room.
I would love it.
I guess I could tell you this. So
Eli should be about him traveling with the script to Convoy instead of the movie. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Every time I stay in a hotel room and they have a Gideon Bible, I sign on the inside, all the best God.
That is pretty awesome.
Okay, you're pretty awful. I love you.
I help too.
That's
the
fantastic.
devil.
I did that once with my mom when we traveled, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I told her, and she's like, "I don't know you anymore." That's all I got. It was great. So,
honey, he clearly doesn't have that kind
of
handwriting. I
learned it from you.
Clearly, a handwriting expert is going to prove otherwise.
And next day on eBay, I found a signed copy.
Have I talked to you about our Lord and Savior Chris Christopherson?
It's God and Neil going around secretly signing books. That's what happens.
Right. God, is that you? And then Ernest Borgnine chimes in.
I knew it! I knew it!
Hey, Ernest Borgnine was pretty badass.
Did you do the introductions or did I have a stroke?
No.
Yes.
Both.
Again.
Wormholes.
You can do introductions, though. How about we do introductions?
Sure.
All right. Fine.
You mean at the beginning?
Ah! It's like Vogue on poetry. All right. So we'll do introductions and we'll do them starting now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Weekend Justice. It's a Weekend Justice podcast here on needcoffee.com, the #1 audio internet train wreck. We are located here in the Hall of Weekend Justice with the Weekend Justice League, and I'll endeavor to introduce them going from my right to your left. We have Dom is with us. Hi, Dom.
Hello.
Hello. We also have Tuffley. Hello, Tuffley.
Wait, you mean this isn't 50 Days of Dragon Con?
It is, and yet it's not. It's the 51st day of Dragon Con.
Damn it.
I know. Okay. Rob is with us. Hi, Rob.
What's up?
What's up? Madman is here. What's up?
Hello.
Hello. And, of course, we've got John for the Unique Geek. Hi, John. Oh, for fuck's sake.
You know, if somebody in John's shop handed him flowers.
You got any German prison somewhere you can throw that guy in?
Who, me or the Hoff?
You. Or Hoff. I don't want to hear that. That's not being very nice.
That's why he's doing it.
Yeah, I know.
It's
welcome to Weekend Justice.
Yeah.
Remember how they flushed people out in Panama? That's kind of the idea here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They still do that here.
Oh, did David Hasselhoff cover Panama at any point? I need to know now.
You have the internet, John.
I'm looking.
And at least 2 hours by my count, so Godspeed.
Yes.
You know what I love? I just Googled Hasselhoff, and actually the news from 1 day ago in Germany. It's so insane. Because I just wanted to find out, I forgot what his TV show was called. Not one of the ones you know, the British mockumentary style show. It was actually pretty good.
And what was it called?
That's what I'm trying to find out. I watched pretty much 3 episodes. And
What was that? Don't Hassle the Hoff? Was that it?
Was it called Gooden Times?
No, it was very creative. It was called Hoff the Record.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah, that's pretty funny, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty solid, and the show is solid too.
I remember him doing a Buzzcocks episode, like promoting that.
Actually. Really, it's worth a watch. You'd be surprised, I think. I mean, he's kind of scared to lose his face. He always comes out looking good, but the rest of the cast is pretty brilliant.
Oh, it's like WEJ. It's like the it sounds like the James Vanderbeek Diplo thing you were talking about on Vice.
Wait, what?
Oh, have you not seen this, Rob?
No.
Oh my God! So there's a show on Viceland called "What Would Diplo Do," and James Vanderbeek plays plays Diplo, and it's basically a fictionalized version of his life, interacting with fake versions of like Skrillex and other folks. They have a fake manager for him. James Vanderbeek writes it and is in it, and it is fucking hilarious. It is just so sick.
I'm very worried.
No, really, because I was like, what is this going to be? And I watched the first episode. I was like, holy shit, that's funny.
I mean, I know he's funny. I but it still scares me.
That's probably wise. So
hey.
So non-agenda. Okay, now that we're done talking about the state of the world and Mike Pence, let's do.
You leave Royce Bannon out of this. Oh, sorry.
To me, it looks like Hawk from Buck Rogers. That way,
it's not Royce Bannon. It's racist Bannon.
Nice.
Well, no, actually, he brought up Hawk. That actually sounds scarily correct.
Because that way, my love of Johnny Quest is not ruined.
Yeah, well, that is true. That is true.
Oh, okay. So here's what we need to talk about because Mad Men's here. So, you saw the Batwoman news?
I did read about the Batwoman news this morning. I'm completely on board with that.
Yeah.
Ruby Rose is actually going to be playing Batwoman for the CW shows, and she'll be introduced into one of their mini crossovers that they do this season. Which, if you've seen her in John Wick, if you've seen her in Triple X, she can pull it off. I'm good with this.
Yeah, she's a bit of a badass.
Right, and the fact of the matter is they didn't shy away from the subject and they used an actual gay person to play a gay character. So I'm good as long as they keep her hair.
This is also how they get to do Batman without having actual Batman in it.
Well, they've been doing that for the entire run. It was called Arrow.
Well, yes, but
it's getting kind of annoying that they just scoot around mentioning Gotham and not really mentioning the Bat. It's kind of weird.
They did Batman on Arrow for the first 2 seasons and then kind of went away from that.
No, they've come back full circle.
Have they? Because I gave up after season 3.
No, they've come back to, we forgot how to write every episode aside from the last episode of the season.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
They keep using Ra's al Ghul and his daughters or some version of that. I'm like, come on.
Barrowman.
But they're doing the Longbow Hunters this season. So we'll see how that goes.
Really?
That's the premise.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a great lead actor, so that counts for something. If Supernatural can survive season 6 and go on strong, then maybe Arrow comes back to quality at one point.
Well, as the person who does the panel for Supernatural for Dragon Con every year for 19 years running, that's what it seems like. You've got a point.
You've been doing Supernatural longer than the show is running. That's impressive.
I would just
That's a testament to the fandom.
I would just like to take this opportunity, sir, to thank you for your service.
Thank you.
You know what? If I'd be going to Dragon Con, I would love to be there. Because Supernatural,
you would actually. They have
it's awesome in my book still. So
hold on, they have an awesome fan base, and you just never know what's going to happen in that room. You know, over the years, we've had multiple guests. We've had people during the panel that were on the show actually show up unannounced, just in the middle of the panel, sit through the whole panel, and talk afterwards. It's actually been pretty good. That panel is always full.
Wow. And he's gone.
Yeah, we're done. That's what I had to say.
Oh, okay, because it ended at always for me, and I thought, what's the word he's going to say?
No, it's always full. I said the panel was always full.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the panel is always full. There are always people in that room.
You know what? I'm gonna try. Remind me this year. I will try to come just to see you do a panel.
Well, if not, we'll have it on DVD for you later. There's one thing I don't mind doing is bootlegging my own panels.
I think that's impossible, but yeah.
Let me out long enough to go to somebody else's panel. I'll go.
So, what I was going to say is we could avoid controversial topics and instead just talk about James Gunn.
Wow.
Let's get right to it. Just get right to it. Kind of sad. I like James.
He's a nice guy.
And
what?
We had a moment. Yeah, we covered that on the other podcast.
He's from St. Louis. I've seen him get coffee. I've watched him walk and order coffee. And he's a really nice guy.
Yep.
He knows how to order coffee.
He does how to order coffee.
He played Super here at the film festival. I got to talk to him for like an hour because he was getting coffee, and he was just sitting there. I'm like, man, I really liked your movie. And I just talked to him about for 40 minutes to an hour, and he was just really, really nice, you know. But the moral of this story is, you know, don't say stupid shit on the internet. You know?
Right.
Well, I think that's the summation of it. I mean,
there's more to it.
I know there is.
There's more to it.
A lot of this could get avoided if you just didn't do anything stupid to begin with. But I totally get everything you're saying.
Well, my concern is... Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go. We're good.
Well, I was going to say that basically you set a really shitty precedent where it's something he did like 10 years ago. He came back and apologized for it, said it was stupid, and got punished anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's going to happen is if you do something stupid now, well, there's no point in me apologizing or even changing because I'm going to get punished for it anyway. So if you're going to get punished for it anyway, you just roll with it. I can see that happen.
That's what I've always said.
Yeah. The other thing, too, though, that and this is kind of the thing that sucks is like there's a guy for the Brewers that said far worse things on the internet. He apologized and got a standing ovation, which I found absolutely fundamentally fucking wrong.
Yeah, Black Twitter had a field day with that one.
Wait, there's a Black Twitter?
Yeah, Black Twitter is the same thing as white Twitter, but our filter's a little different.
I thought it was the night mode of Twitter, you know?
No.
No, I just thought, like, why is this guy getting away with this? This is bullshit.
Right. Oh, and that was the entire conversation of, really, you gave him a standing of this is complete and utter bullshit, and this is why we have problems still.
You have to understand, though, it's Milwaukee, right? Which is one of the most racist places I've ever been. It's also a place that turned Jeffrey Dahmer's hotel room into a tourist place. So, you know.
It's also what sports people get a pass?
Yeah.
I mean,
some of them.
Well, no.
Right? And I get it. Look, I don't think people should be penalized for, you know, what they did when they were younger. And he was much younger. But then there are some other things that underlie, you know, changing. Like with the thing with James Gunn, he completely had and one of the things we had discussed outside of this in a different article as well that I had read a long time ago, where it's about his identification with Rocket as a character, right? And how Rocket's kind of this, you know, broken, kind of crappy little animal in the movie, but, you know, at some point in time, you know, does have a turn where he actually gives a crap about people, and he's not as horrible as he turned out to be, right? And he said that's kind of, you know, what has happened with me, you know, and I'm okay with that, right? I'm okay with the whole kind of Catholic guilt repentance thing, kind of. But with the sports thing, it's like, oh yeah, I said something bad.
Well, I think the other thing in the James Gunn case is that Disney already knew about it. Like what when they originally hired him, they already knew about it. So if they knew about it and hired him then, what's the difference?
Right. I'm retroactively now being punished after being wildly successful and making you a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Right. And now you've got this overshadowing Guardians 3. So it's like, because I know that.
Well, I mean, theoretically, could this be Disney's out to just cancel 3 altogether?
Yeah, but why would they want to cancel 3? Because did 2 make a shit ton of money?
Sure,
it did, but they don't necessarily. Again, since we're assuming Disney's picking up the Fox rights, so they may not actually need Guardians for cosmic stuff anymore.
Well, but I mean, it's established. I mean, it's
reliable, not like the Fantastic Four, which have been shit forever.
Well, the good news is with the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, they can basically, to a certain extent, pull a Homecoming and say, "Hey, guess what? We don't have to do an origin story. Woo! We can do something."
The other thing they could.
to do something with it. But Guardians is such a safe bet, and just because of this one thing, it's now tainted. We'll see how that goes.
Well, I mean,
the other thing they don't have to do is keep casting people. Everyone that has decided to leave a Fantastic Four movie has gone on to do wonderful in other Marvel movies.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true.
I mean, if you're Human Torch, you got a great track record. You can either be Killmonger or you can be Captain America. People are going to love you.
Or you can star in Stripes and Caddyshack.
See? Ta-da!
Although if
somebody book,
if Bill Murray's character from Caddyshack became MCU canon, that would be awesome. I want him to be Herald of Galactus.
Isn't there that one Spider-Man issue?
No, he would actually be Harold.
Yes.
And they thought you said Harold. His name is Harold. He's Harold of Galactus, Wisconsin.
I'm okay with that completely.
That's awesome.
It's like, I bring you cheese, and we're all gonna die.
You know who I want to see in a Marvel movie at one point is, now that he's back, is Rick Moranis, just playing somebody like Louis Tully in a Marvel movie. Who's doing your taxes, Captain America? I would just love that.
Oh, wait a minute. You know who? Oh, well, that's true. They already have it.
What?
I was going to say initially the Tinkerer, but they already have one. I forgot. There's got to be a role like that, because I would love to see Rick Moranis as a villain. I think that would be awesome.
As a villain would be awesome too.
Well, isn't Mysterio actually just a guy in a suit?
In a fishbowl?
Yeah.
Are they doing the fishbowl?
Oh, please,
I don't know.
let's do the fishbowl. Sounds like a dance now.
I mean, I remember, I remember how they resolved this in the video game, where they set it up as Mysterio being this badass villain, and then you take him out in a convenience store, like with one shot.
Well, you just shatter the fishbowl and he drowns.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
No. You just you knock the fishbowl off, basically. Like, they spend like an entire section of the game setting up how badass Mysterio is as a villain. And then by the time you actually run into him in a convenience store, and you just kick the fishbowl off.
Sure.
Well, I mean, that's a lesson for all of us, I guess. I don't know what the lesson is, but I'm sure it's there.
Don't wear a fishbowl.
Don't wear a fishbowl.
Don't wear a fishbowl.
Also, I think I may have spoiled Venom for you too, but there you go.
What? He's in the... Wait a minute.
He's in a fishbowl. No, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually am... I'll give Venom a chance just because I like Tom Hardy, and I think I said before in the trailer, the fact that he just says, "Why would we do that?" is just like, it sells it for me a lot. So I'll try it. Why not?
I watched Catwoman in the theater. I'll watch anything.
Oh my God, you will watch anything. No, but okay. To be fair. I mean, if you said, "Hey, you want to go see a movie with Halle Berry dressed up as a slinky cat?" I don't think any of us would turn that down. And yet, somehow they made it unsexy. How can you do? How is that even possible?
Stupidity makes anything unsexy.
I'm just like, what? How?
I mean, Sharon Stone puts makeup on her face, and that gives her superpowers, which are not superpowers, but make her face feel nothing. And and now she kind of can kick Catwoman's ass because she doesn't feel anything. That would mean that any alcoholic could kick Catwoman's ass. So I don't know, kind of weird. Stupid movie.
I'm up against the boozer.
The boozer.
It's the Botox.
Wasn't that a Spider-Man rogue in the late
70s?
Pretty much everything was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Calendar Man.
The boozer, is that?
Oh, no, that was Batman, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think so.
Is the Boozer like the Dean Martin Marvel movie?
Oh my God!
Wow.
Oh,
yes, and he has a trusty black sidekick known as Sammy Davis Jr.
But that's God. I hate it when
What?
I don't.
That's Iron Man 1 and 2.
And
Captain
actually,
America.
Yeah.
Wow.
Although they did the Bewitched
Ant-Man.
thing, so they switched them out.
Wow. Isn't that a kick in the head?
that just makes me want to watch Ghost Protocol again. I have not seen. Has anyone seen Fallout?
I have.
No, and I really do want to go see it.
I think I'm going to go see that tomorrow, actually.
Okay,
because
John.
My movie pass will actually let me see it now.
Hey, so John, how is it?
It is excellent. It was really, 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 really good.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Did you? Okay. What were your thoughts about Rogue Nation?
Rogue Nation was one prior to this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I liked Rogue Nation. Actually, I think the last three,
The last two have been good.
Includes a Ghost Protocol, right? So, they've been. I think they've all been really, really well done. I mean, the only thing that drove me nuts, and you'll understand when you see the film, is you actually had to know, you had to remember some things from prior Mission Impossibles that I could, and I think it goes all the way back to the very first one.
Yeah, a lot of people are going back and watching the old ones.
It's because there's a love interest there that let's put it this way, Ethan definitely has a type, because you put the two actresses next to each other, I could go, I don't know which one's which. I don't know.
I never know either.
But no, it was really, really well done. It was, it might have been a tad longer than it needed to be. But it goes from, scene to scene, and actually, weirdly enough, Cavill might be the weakest link in and it's not him, it's the character.
Right.
It's his mustache.
It's his mustache, huh?
Yeah. No, it might be the weakest character in the film.
That's odd how that seems to keep happening to him in films.
Well, again, it wasn't his acting. I just think that they just didn't give him.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. Spider-Man in Justice League was an incredibly weak part of that movie.
Spider-Man?
He was
right. He was really weak.
Tom Holland sucked in that film. No.
Yeah, Superman was definitely weak in that film, but they made his character sort of stupid, because if he was a real, I know it's stupid people make stupid mistakes type thing, but if everyone was smart, then everyone could get away with everything, right? If criminals never get caught type thing, but
philosophy class now.
Yeah, but he does some things that you're like, well, if he was really a CIA agent, wouldn't he have thought of that? But
so many shows and movies where stuff like that happens, where you think, well, I wouldn't have made this exchange of prisoners that way on that bridge with the resources they have. That's kind of silly, but the plot asks for it, so it happens.
Right, but even in that kind of because that sort of happens in this film, it's played out really smart. I mean, it's really, really played out smart. But then there's a couple of moments where you're like, he's being he's being dumb. He could just escape and be done with it. Not that I'm trying not to give away too much of the film, but you can kind of see where it's going from the beginning.
Well, what's happened there is the character has been exposed to too much polonium.
But it might be Tom Cruise's best. Yeah, I think it's probably his best Mission Impossible.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think the trend since 3 has been a little more of a team-based film than Ethan Hunt is James Bond.
Well, and part of it is too. do I remember this correctly in that basically because Mission Impossible was not going great financially as a franchise after 3? I mean, not terrible, but obviously going down, that Jeremy Renner was basically being prepped to take over as a new character for an ongoing. Okay.
Yeah.
Correct.
And then, of course, Ghost Protocol kicked ass and it started making money again. And it's, oh, okay, well, I guess we can't afford me. I guess I'll stay.
Poor Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about. It's like he keeps getting put into these situations where he's either being groomed to take over as the lead in the next film in these franchises, and then it doesn't happen for him. I don't know.
But he gets the best moments in the second Avengers movie. So.
Yeah,
he's got great and I will say with the Bourne thing, that was a close call because. Basically, I liked that Bourne movie better when it was called Terminator 2.
Yeah. But I do, with Mission Impossible in particular, I do kind of appreciate where yes, it's still a Tom Cruise movie, but I think, especially starting with actually JJ did it in 3, because 3 was, I think, JJ Abrams.
Yeah.
Yep. Which I still haven't watched.
Yeah, 3 was JJ Abrams, and that's the first J.J. Abrams. I think that's also the first Simon Pegg one.
Yes, that's right.
And I think there's a bit more of a, well, number one, because they rotate the team members out between the films, which is also a thing they did on the TV show, which was nice. And also that there was actually more of a team than just him, which also kind of makes it work along the lines of the TV show. So, you know, that was always my complaint about that series was 1 was okay, but 1 kind of fancied itself as kind of a cerebral James Bond film, which it wasn't, but it tried Brian De Palma tried really, really hard to do that. 2 was, I think, 2 was, I don't know what 2 was.
It was shite. That's what it was. Now,
although to be fair to 2, that is the reason we got Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. So,
thank you.
There we go.
So, count your blessings.
Count your blessings.
Yeah, I think I didn't like Rogue Nation because I kind of liked that they addressed it in the trailer for Fallout, which was, it's like, how many fucking times it's like, oh, well, I guess we're going to have to disavow Ethan Hunt because it's time for another movie.
Yeah.
It's like, no, what? You've done that. How many times have you done that?
Well, and they address that a lot in this film.
Good.
About, first of all, why do you keep working for somebody that always says, we're going to kill you, or we're going to pretend like you don't exist? Why do you keep doing it? And, they do point out several times that, you do choose these missions. You have a choice. So,
Well, that's the thing, is that it's like, oh shit, I lost my train of thought. I got derailed.
It's fine.
That's the sound of a derailment.
I know.
I'll be doing the Foley work tonight. Thank you.
Okay, good. I feel better already.
Tonight's soundboard brought to you by.
That's us galloping away from this topic and moving on to the next.
And that was the other. No, that was the other thing too. Is like Rogue Nation. I think Rogue Nation came out. I forget which Bond film it was, around the same time, and they're almost.
No, it was Spectre. Sorry, it was Spectre.
Yeah, it was. I was like, oh, it's a shadowy organization that's kind of like its own thing, and I'm like, well, this is almost Spectre, but without the terrible plot twists.
So they had to rewrite parts of Spectre because of its similarities to the plot in Mission Impossible.
Maybe that's what's wrong with it.
Because there's a bit, so there's a couple of beats that are exactly like what happens in Spectre, between Spectre and Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation. There's a bit. Yeah, there's a bit. The Syndicate. There's a bit where the Simon Pegg character has a solo bit, And there's a bit in Spectre where Q has a solo bit, and they had to rewrite portions of that so that it didn't look like the sequence from Mission Impossible. The ending to Spectre was almost exactly like the ending to Rogue Nation. It was funny.
Huh.
Yeah, I figured out that basically the new Daniel Craig James Bond is a lot like Star Trek in that every other movie kind of sucks.
Yeah, but he's so good at them, so that's the thing.
No, I know he makes it watchable like the first time, but it's not like
it's the Connery effect because it's no, it is seriously it's the Connery effect because there's a couple of Duff James Bond films that the only reason they work is because Connery's in them.
No, absolutely, but I'm like I don't find like Quantum of Solace or Spectre rewatchable like I find Skyfall or Casino Royale. Like I will watch the opening sequence from Skyfall. I don't know how many times I've watched that with the chase that winds up on the train with the construction equipment with it.
Well, part of it is Skyfall is just gorgeous to watch.
Oh God, it's fantastic.
It's and I don't know whether it was because it was the first Bond film they used the HD, the red cameras on, the digital cameras on.
I think it was.
But it was just the cinematography in that was just gorgeous.
And it was a great story.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was excellent. And yeah. There's two things that I would like to see them do with James Bond. One,
well, Danny Boyle's doing the next one, right?
I heard. Is it official?
I believe so. I think Danny Boyle is doing the next one.
I'd be all right with that. There are two things. First, after Ghost Protocol came out, I immediately started saying they should give Brad Bird a Bond film because I would love to see what he would do with a Bond film. Now, granted, I've also I can't decide which I want more. I think I almost want this one more. Is for basically DC to give him Challengers of the Unknown to do as a television show.
Ooh.
Because that just seems completely up his alley. But the other thing I want, which I would love, because and I think I mentioned this a while back when it first came up, is I think it would be great for Sean Connery to play some kind of Bond villain. And he said in an interview he would not rule it out. But I think that would be fantastic.
It would be, but isn't he retired since forever?
He's retired, but I'm like, he'd come back for that shit, even if it was just.
Yeah, but I think he's retired for some very sad reason.
Oh, is he?
No, he lives on an island. He lives on an island somewhere in the tropics. He's not getting off that island. He's happy because
I thought he was sick or something.
I had not heard that. I know he did a bunch of PSA and a bunch of appearances for the Brexit Scottish independence stuff.
Yeah, okay, that's one thing he really, really loves and always does. So
I do know that the hotel he owns in Edinburgh that he bought, he has never been to since he bought it, and he doesn't really come back to Scotland very much. I know that much, but
well, basically, what I was seeing, I was just looking on Wikipedia, which is always right. When he retired, which was basically 2006, he said he wasn't going to do Indiana Jones 4 because, quote, retirement is just too much damned fun. But here's my thing. I'm like, oh, you have an island? Guess what Bond villains have? Islands. Let's just come and film in your den just so you could be a Bond villain for like 5 minutes.
Also, don't forget, he was a great villain in that other Avengers movie.
Oh, God.
I just reminded you of something that you thought you had forgotten.
No, I haven't forgotten it. I have never forgiven those fuckers. Like, that is Connery. That is the one time Connery has played a villain. The one time. And they get that. Fucking, like dark Teddy Ruxpin. What the hell?
To be fair, Uma Thurman wasn't bad in that.
Oh,
the cast was great.
No. I thought the cast was great, and it's like, again, would you like to see Uma Thurman in a cat suit kicking ass? Yes, I would. Thank you.
Yes. There's nothing wrong with that.
You had me at cat suit.
Yeah. Men are so simple.
So, but yeah, so he did. He's done voice work, but that's it. Again, because he doesn't have to leave the island.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking, film on the fucking island.
Put a motion cap studio on that island.
Oh God, mocap Connery.
If you have the voice, you have Connery.
That's what I'm saying. If you just need the voice. It is a voice that will make you not give a shit that he is playing a captain of a Russian submarine.
Which I still think we should do the Highlander 2 audio commentary for that fictional movie that doesn't exist.
Oh my God, Tom. Oh, Jesus. I don't know that I own enough scotch to get me through that.
Let him on this thing, remember.
Come on, it would be fun, even just to see how drunk you are at the end.
I don't. No. And here's the beautiful thing about it. I don't remember most of the film. I've literally blocked it out of my mind.
I think I've seen it too many times, actually, because I've seen it. I was 14 or something when it was on TV. No, the second Highlander doesn't exist.
Okay.
I actually, at one point, because I've seen them all, at one point thought, okay, how does this make sense? What is the order of those movies, especially considering the TV series in between? And the order is crazy.
Well, it's like the Legend of Zelda games.
Excuse me?
It's like the timeline of the Zelda games, because they were talking about that before, where it was, okay, well, this game isn't exactly the linear follow-up to this. This is actually before the first game, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like they're saying Breath of the Wild is the last game in the timeline, but not the last game. It's at the end of the timeline.
Yeah, you know, with Highlander, you can actually just see how they use the terms prequel, sequel, reboot, and retcon just inside of the same movie. It's amazingly stupid.
Wormholes.
Well, and then you get into crazy shit like sidequels and reimaginings.
But I just love that. You know, Highlander 2 has this one moment that I really love is when, you know what this movie needs? Sean Connery. And you just shout out Ramirez and he shows up. Who cares about the rules anymore?
You don't even have to say his name 3 times.
Just once.
Yep.
And then he's doing Shakespeare out of a sudden. Was it Shakespeare? He appeared on a stage somewhere. I remember that. I remember it all, I think.
That is the most ominous way that has ever been said on this podcast. In regards to Highlander 2, I remember it all.
The planet Zeist.
Jesus Christ.
But to distract you, I was distracted before because Neil Gaiman actually retweeted me again, which is kind of weird when he does, because he does it once a year, and I think somewhere somebody did a sacrifice, so it happens.
Nice. Yeah,
but I posted one of his German book covers, which is horribly awful and ugly. The cover of American Gods, it's an abomination.
That is the actual cover?
That was of the hardcover edition, it seems, yeah.
Wow. That's almost porn.
And I love how he wrote, they assured me that the horrible covers had nothing to do with the poor sales. Which confirmed what I was thinking. They actually thought they were doing a great job and that just Neil's books weren't good or something.
I have a German copy of Neverwhere.
I think Neverwhere was actually handled better. And I think they actually switched publishers before that. Well, no. Didn't American Gods come out after Neverwhere?
Yeah, I think American Gods came out after Neverwhere.
But maybe they didn't. I don't know at what point they picked up his books and translated them. So, not sure. But that cover is as horrible as it gets. Really, it looks like something self-published.
Wow!
Don't hold back.
I don't mean you. But there is a cliche of book covers, and that look like they're self-published because some publishers who offer that to you, who print the books, give you this generator where you can click a few things and then you have your own book cover. And that's how this book looks.
That's like somebody was experimenting with layers in Photoshop.
Yeah. And doing a piss poor job of it.
Yeah.
So, WEJ, the only bad thing I can say about one of your books is that the binding was shit. And that's not your fault.
Oh, which book?
That was years ago. Magnificent Desolation.
Oh, okay.
That one fell apart in my hands.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It was just sort of a theme.
I like to write about tiny apocalypses, and here's a tiny apocalypse.
It was a metaphor for contemporary America.
God, that would be horrible.
What, contemporary America? Yes, you're right.
That would be horrible. I think I stand by that. Yeah.
Yep. No, I agree with you completely.
If there was a contemporary America.
That's it's like what was it? What was it? Gandhi said, Western civilization. It sounds like a very good idea.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah, we're goose stepping with you right there.
Oh, and there it is.
Oh God.
I'm sorry, WEJ.
Oh, so who put the cargo on the list?
Cargo?
Cargo? You know my pants?
No.
What are my pants doing on there?
Fargo.
The film on Netflix that they made out of the short.
Oh, there, Martin Freeman's in film. I don't know who that wasn't me.
Okay, I was just because I have not watched it yet.
Neither have I.
But I want to because the short was fucking amazing.
Yeah. Although, what was it? Since you brought up Fargo, Chris Rock is going to do season 3 of Fargo.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
That is actually
the New Gods swap. Did you read that, Tuffley?
No.
Oh yeah. So the wonderful thing was it was on CBR earlier today.
Yeah.
And it was, is Fargo about to do the New Gods?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, how did they piece this together? And essentially they are. They're doing.
So that's what that is. Okay.
Yes, Chris Rock is one crime boss. There's another Italian crime boss. They swap sons in order to maintain the peace.
Oh,
wow. That's old school.
I'm like,
well, see, I knew Noah was trying to get all the references in.
Right. I'm like, okay, how's this going to work out? And then something goes horribly wrong. It's what's supposed to happen.
God knows when it's actually
how it all shakes loose. Right.
We'll probably get another season of Legion before that happens. So.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm so behind.
Season 2 of Iron Fist. I'm so looking forward to it.
Really?
It can only go up.
That's true.
And it's much shorter. 10 episodes.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, they cut it back. It's only 10 episodes. You're getting fun time with Colleen and Misty, which is always wonderful.
I finished watching Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah.
How is it?
How is that?
Excellent. That was
okay.
Really good. It's surprising it's on Freeform, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, so here's the deal, because there are a couple of shows I started on Freeform and that I just couldn't stay with. I'm like, oh my God, this is bad, and I'm not going to say who they are because I may see some of them at the convention. God forbid, but yeah, they had one show on there that I affectionately called the makeup and hair gel show, because literally they fought demons every week, but they looked fantastic doing it, and they never got dirty. Hair was never out of place. Everyone always looked good. It's like literally a cast full of Abercrombie models.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. And that seems to be a theme with most of the things I see on Freeform. I'm like, oh, everybody's going to continue to look perfect regardless of what happens.
So it's even more superficial than the old CW shows, you know? The old joke where you have to take off your shirt at each episode at one point if you're a guy.
Glossier with even less shirts.
So it's Charmed for the new generation.
They are rebooting Charmed, actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah, why the fuck
they
not?
are?
They are. No, seriously, they are rebooting Charmed.
Yeah, why the fuck not? You know, it's a promising concept. You have women guys want to sleep with, and some women want to sleep with, and you have a little bit of fantasy and mystery stuff thrown in. It worked once, it wouldn't work again. So
yeah, and I think it is the CW, isn't it? It is the CW, yeah.
They're also going to try to reboot Buffy, allegedly.
Well, yeah, I read about that.
It's supposed to be a continuation.
That's the newest thing. The I think the supposed showrunner or head writer said this is my Star Wars, and then we will see
where the
story will happen. Excuse me?
Is Sarah Michelle Gellar available for the regeneration scene?
I mean, she's available. She's not working.
She does something with cookbooks right now, so I have no idea.
Yeah. Where's Freddie Prinze Jr.? Throw him in there too. They're together. He's not doing shit.
I'm still pissed that they never did the Ripper spin-off with Anthony Stewart Head. That would have been a good show.
Wait a minute, what?
The BBC had pitched. It was the BBC and was interested in at some point in doing a spin-off with Anthony. Head.
Produced in England, covering the time of Giles in England, where he was hunting ghosts or something. So it would have been good because it's Anthony Stewart Head, who is even great in the campiest of campy episodes in Doctor Who. So,
please, he was doing Taster's Choice commercials. That's where I knew him from.
Yeah,
I know, but he's great.
He was the Taster's Choice guy.
He's great. He's
like, still a great actor.
He makes a great Dr. Frankenfurter.
Yeah. Whatever I've seen him in, he was good. Even in that stupid commercial.
And he was in the original Chess recording. Not the studio, the musical.
Yeah.
Did you say Chess?
Yeah.
Wasn't that Murray, though?
What, who? What?
Huh?
No, Murray.
I'm so confused.
Marie Curie? What?
No. Murray Head. I think he's Anthony's brother.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Okay.
Sorry.
And I was thinking, Bill Murray, what?
No.
Murray the Butcher?
Wait, his brother Brian Doyle Murray was in Chess?
Yeah.
Chess, the game, the original recording. How old is this man?
He is the Highlander.
Ramirez.
Actually, the Vacation movies are actually Highlander sequels.
I see my cut has improved your voice.
Wow.
Awesome.
Nothing of this makes any sense, but it's fine.
That's completely normal.
That's the show. I know.
Yep. So that was like one of my questions when I saw that they're turning Time Bandits into a show. Basically, is it just me, or is everything becoming a television show now as opposed to a film?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To make more money.
Well, I think it actually allows them to spend less money to do it that way, don't you think? Yeah. Right?
It costs less to do. I mean, you're shooting for a longer time, but it costs less from a crew standpoint to do a show than a feature.
And if you can make something broad with an international market, that seemes to also be where a lot of this is going.
You could either...
Or if you can have like a home country network carry it on their network television, but you can sell it to Amazon or Netflix and they carry it everywhere else.
Right. Or you basically like for example, like Taskmaster or The Office, it seems like everyone's getting a version of those.
Yeah. You either sell the format or you sell the one version of the show over and over again.
Right.
I mean, Good Omens is the BBC and Amazon. That's how that's happening.
Well, and the other thing too is that like you look at Netflix and they appear to have picked up. I'm assuming all of the Universal UK contracts with comedians have expired.
Yeah.
Because everyone who used to be on Region 2 only DVD releases through Universal in the UK, they're now on Netflix.
Yeah.
So, which has only got to help them, because part of every UK comedian's dream is to, make it pretty big over here. Don't have to stay, but just to make it big would be nice.
Yeah, which I'm surprised BritBox didn't get those.
Yeah, well,
because some of those specials weren't they originally aired as BBC specials anyway?
Yeah.
Well, some of them, but a lot of them are
originals. Yeah.
Yeah, originals that I were, like I said, they were going direct to DVD in the UK. Yeah. I mean, and what's odd was around somewhere in January, I would just go on Amazon UK and look for like the past 60 days, and all the comedy DVDs get released around Thanksgiving, Christmas time frame. Well, Thanksgiving for us. They just all come out in a lump at the end of the year.
But yeah.
So if it's not out then, it's probably not coming out.
Or like, what was the other example I was thinking of? So the Star Trek thing. So Discovery.
Yeah.
Discovery's getting, I mean, the CBS streaming service has it in the States, but Netflix distributes it everywhere else.
Yes.
Yeah, and they got Patrick Stewart back. What is
they? Yeah. So yeah, so they have announced a Picard series of some sort. They have not said exactly what it is, but other than Patrick Stewart's in it, and it's actually a series.
If it is like a talk show where Patrick Stewart is in character as Picard,
he's in the chair. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be fantastic. It's like when they were talking about before they came out with what Fear the Walking Dead was going to be, and I was like, it needs to be a 3-camera sitcom set in the Walking Dead universe.
What would be great is I'm Captain Picard, and this is my masterclass. I would watch the shit out of that.
I would watch
Picard
the shit out of that too.
can do every job on that ship better than anybody else.
Pretty much.
Although probably why he's the only one coming back.
Yeah, that's true. He is the Federation's Swiss Army knife. But
he is. There's one episode that I always bring up where Geordie LaForge is in the engine room or is on the holodeck and tries to solve a problem. At the end of the show, Picard just says, "Okay, let me do this," presses 3 buttons, and problem solved. It is really that.
I mean, I'm like, is it because he's Jean-Luc Picard, or is it because he's Patrick Stewart?
The acting goes to Stewart, the rest goes to Picard.
So I'm like, Stewart can sell pretty much anything.
And has.
Yeah,
and he had to in that moment because it was kind of ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of Masterclass, I started watching the David Mamet Masterclass. And I really am tempted to stop, because the more I watch, the less I like this guy.
Would you tell us why?
Because first of all, I read where, and I forget which of his plays it was. He basically has put in this that's like codicil to, if you're going to perform one of his plays, you cannot have a discussion about it afterwards. Like, you cannot host, like, in the theater, you can't talk. You can't. In fact, you can't have, like, within 24 hours and within a certain distance from the theater. And I'm like, why the fuck? I mean, you don't want people to talk about and discuss your stuff? Because I'm like, the best movies, like best plays that you see with somebody, you leave the cinema and you want to talk to people about it.
Well, what you're failing to understand is part of the license fee includes the installation cost for the microphones that he's putting into the theaters.
I guess. But see, here's the thing too. He starts his masterclass basically by saying drama is meant to entertain, and that's it. It's like, it's not supposed to. But here's it gets worse.
Right in the knee.
It gets worse. He said, he's like, it's not supposed to teach, and he doesn't mention it by name, but he basically references the cast of Hamilton talking to Pence from the stage as them trying to teach him something. And I'm like, you seem to confuse teaching someone something with trying to make them think. Because I don't think they were trying to teach him a goddamn thing. And I know a lot of drama doesn't try to teach you anything. It's like, well, what did Inception teach me? Don't dream too hard? No. It wanted to entertain me, and it wanted to make me think, which I'm fine with. So I'm like, what the fuck? Dude, first of all, you're selling your own work far too short, because it does more than entertain when you don't suck. Because, I mean, let's face it, House of Games and The Spanish Prisoner were shite. But I'm like, and he's talking about stuff like, well, drama has to, you go from point A to point B, and anything that gets in the way, you have to have a goal that you're headed towards. I'm like, have you met Tom Stoppard? I mean, have you seen Rosencrantz and Guildenstern? How exactly is that a linear? That doesn't fit with what you're talking about at all, and it's like one of the best plays ever written. I'm like, oh my god, dude. He basically it's that thing of all the other master classes I've seen so far. They've been very good at not coming across like, I know everything there is to know about this, and everything else can fuck off.
Have you seen the Aaron Sorkin one?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Is he that way too?
I don't know. I was going to ask you that question.
Oh, no.
I always get the sense that I'm cool with Aaron Sorkin's scripts, but then I hear him talk, and then I'm like, okay, I'm off you, dude.
Yeah. Well, it's like, but here's what's funny, right? I am also watching the Gary Kasparov chess masterclass.
Yeah.
Not even Gary Kasparov comes off as a know-it-all bastard like David Mamet does. Gary fucking Kasparov, who you just kind of think, well, you obviously, first of all, you probably do come across that way before you encounter him a lot, and also, you kind of have somewhat of a license to it because you're Gary fucking Kasparov. It's like it's someone says, oh, well, there's this musician, and he's pretentious at times, but he's fun, and he's quirky, but he's a genius. Oh, I don't know about... Yeah, his name's Prince. Oh, well, if it's Prince, he can get away with anything he fucking wants because he's fucking Prince. So, but I'm like, oh, dude, I like David Mamet. I like the David Mamet I don't have to listen to.
I mean, that seems to be the case with most celebrities nowadays. More and more, we're just finding out, like your work, don't like you as a person.
I've actually been reading a bunch of interviews. What is it, the book of interviews? The book that came out with the interviews that spread out with Lou Reed.
Yeah.
Where it's basically, you can tell where he was trying to be antagonistic with the interviewer, or whether or not he was actually being an asshole, or whether or not there are several interviews, especially with Lou Reed, where you read them and you can tell where he's getting to genuine actual things, or when he's just being an asshole. And there's several other interviews where they go back to, it's just antagonism. And I don't know if it's based on the questions, or it's based on location, or what time of day it is. I can't tell.
Well, and that's part of the problem too. That's why, if you are presented with, I mean, it depends on the setup. It's like, I've done some one-on-one interviews, and I've done some roundtable interviews.
Yeah.
Where it's like, so the person could have been set off by a question you didn't even fucking ask, or you're the 15th person that they've talked to that day.
Yeah.
And they're just fucking tired of dealing with people. So.
But it's interesting to see them in the interviews with Lou Reed in a collected form.
Yeah.
Where I'm not sure if it's chronological or not. I can't remember, but where you look at them and you're trying to figure out, okay, so he's being genuine here, and it's the same time frame as this one. And so it's the same person. It's just kind of, so it's interesting. And then again, I also read the other Lou Reed book that came out that the guy from Anthony DeCurtis wrote, and there are also moments where where the book basically said, yes, genuinely he was an asshole, but you know, the closer you get into the circle, he was nicer to you, even though he wasn't. So very odd. But I just thought that was interesting.
So yeah, and I think what else have I? Oh, and I finished watching the Steve Martin masterclass.
Oh, how was that?
Oh, it was fun. I mean, he was very. Again, they brought in 4 younger comedians, and he was like workshopping their stuff with them, and he was constantly, you know, like as he was going through it, saying, and you might know that this works, and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So I appreciate that. I just have this. I have this knee-jerk reaction to supposed authority that just makes me go, it's like, oh, you can't do that. Well, I didn't even want to fucking do it until you told me I couldn't do it. Now I'm going to do it.
Just the same. I mean, that's maybe one of the reasons why I like Stephen King so much, aside from the obvious other things. But in his book, there's just this one sentence that I will never forget where he said, it's all on the table. You may use it all if it makes any sense and works.
Yeah. Well, I also like the thing that he said where he said, when you've got something and you want to test it on readers, give it to 10 people. And if 4 or 5 of them come back and they say, yeah, this thing right here, I don't know that works, ignore them.
Mm.
If 9 or 10 of them come back and say, yeah, this thing right here, I don't know that works, you can think about changing it. But it was never, no, you need to change that. No, just take it all with a grain of salt, see what works.
Have you seen the Steve Martin Short thing on Netflix? No,
I have not. How is it?
It's very enjoyable. I mean, those two could probably come on stage without anything prepared and we'd be entertained. But they prepared some numbers that are so silly that in the hands of other comedians who are less seasoned, you would be, yeah, nice joke. Yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah, okay, fine.
What if you don't think,
yeah?
What if you don't think Martin Short is funny?
I think you'll be okay with that because they rival each other on stage. So you can be completely on the train of Steve Martin is a comedy god, Martin Short is just a silly guy who smiles a lot, and it would still work for you.
Well, also, too, Martin's doing some music on that tour, too, a little bit.
Yeah, and just about enough. You know, he's not overstaying his welcome. He knows he's not doing a concert or anything.
Yeah.
And there's this great simple joke, and he just performs it so well where he says, like, he explains how what's his instrument? I just forgot the word.
Banjo.
The banjo. He just explains how the banjo is as a machine pretty much works, and then he says, while the guitar gets you laid. And that is, you know, I wouldn't have told you this if it would spoil the performance, but it's so on point that you can watch that and you will laugh again. It's so good. But
and the title of it is one of the best titles ever.
Yeah, that's true. What is it precisely? What
a night you will forget for the rest of your life.
Yeah, which is pretty much the same as the opposite.
I'm going to that, but we'll see.
Nice.
So they're performing this live as well. Still,
we're doing a whole tour of the U.S.
Okay, if they stick doing what they're doing on Netflix, I never really understood how people could go to see jokes they've seen on television. I really don't get that.
Okay,
but they probably improvise a lot.
Well, I think it's kind of the same way that there's certain comedians that I've listened to their stuff before, but I can listen to it again and still be entertained. And you always get, you know, that 10 to 20% of improvisation that goes into it.
I mean, if I'm really a fan, I would go see it again. And they never play Europe, so I'd probably go if they were here.
So. Well, usually it's the sort of thing where they actually do the tour and then do the actual filming of like a special or something at the end of the tour.
Right.
Yeah.
Where they're like where they basically spent the tour workshopping the material that's going to go into the filming.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that I understand, but this time that's why I never considered that they would be on tour, because it just popped up on Netflix.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that I don't know if they're performing the same quote unquote set list each night.
Probably not.
They've both been around so goddamn long that they probably have enough material that they could, you know, work it back into stuff. That's what amazes me about like Billy Connolly and Eddie Izzard and people like that, who you know that like 80 to 85% of what they're doing is canned. And some of it is improv, but you'll be damned if you can tell the difference between what is what, you know? And
especially since they're both solo artists. They never have anybody else on stage, I think.
Yeah, but the part of the thing is like it's funny you say that, because like especially with Eddie Izzard, but also with Billy Connolly, it's like you never think about them being alone on stage, because it's that they are an entire cast of thousands.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
and
but
is a machine. I mean, he performs in French and German. He runs marathons. I don't know.
God, he basically. I watched a documentary about him, and it's basically like if he decides to do something, it just happens.
He's running for office, isn't he? He's running for an MP, isn't he?
I just know that he's very, very active politically. I don't know if he's running for office.
I think Izzard's running for like an MP or something.
Yeah, he I forget. I know he said at one point he was talking about running for mayor of London, I thought.
Yeah.
But politically so he's basically said he's trying to get onto Labour's National Executive Committee, and then he's now on it because someone resigned in March. So he basically took her place through some, I don't know how that works. UK politics, it's so weird. I don't know.
Yeah, well, sometimes you're just the next in line. Just happens.
Right. Yeah, certain things I want to steal from them, like vote of no confidence. I think we really need that.
How about more than two parties?
Yeah, that would be good. Although I'd like I tell you who we need is I can't remember if he actually has a party or if it's just him. Let me see.
Lincoln? Is that his name?
No, Lord Buckethead.
Oh, that.
I don't think you need that, but it would probably lighten things up a little bit.
I think it would actually be an improvement.
Yeah.
So yeah, he ran against Theresa May in her home MP area and got 0.4% of the vote.
Buckethead, or is it?
Yeah, Buckethead.
He wasn't the only crazy guy.
Oh, I know. That's why
there's a tradition in Britain. For
I know. That's why I absolutely love the Monster Raving Loony Party. Comes from over there. We have the Monster Raving Loony Party here, but it's not the same. It just doesn't hold up. And I mean, that's the thing that I love about UK politics, is that you have something like Have I Got News for You? A panel show in which if you're a politician and you go on there, you kind of go on there knowing they're going to grill you on shit, but it's still funny and you can still enjoy it. And I don't, it's like, you could not do that here. You could not get a politician on a comedy panel show, knowing that basically whatever they came up with, they were going to grill you on when you got there.
Yeah.
you treat politics a little bit like it is something sacrosanct, and that's weird to me.
Yeah, that's a lot. There's a lot of weird. Yeah. There's a lot.
That's because you don't have a state religion or something. It's like, the president is my pope. Shut the fuck up.
Oh,
Sorry.
We don't have a state religion, but it also depends on who you ask.
That's true.
Well, there is apparently a religious, or what is the religion? What is it? The task force? What is that?
I haven't even looked
The
into
religious
that.
space force.
Yes, the religious space force.
And that'd be great. We're gonna go out into the cosmos and find God.
We are literally rebooting Team America by ourselves. That's what we're doing. It's
a live action Team America.
It's a live action Team America in real time.
If you realize that there are growing strings on your hands, you really need to be careful.
That's Star Trek 5.
So
Jerry Anderson wept.
Atlas laughed.
Oh no! Well, that just means the Space 1999 reboot is coming. Then.
By the way, isn't Zack Snyder making a movie out of Atlas Shrugged?
Oh God, I read that.
Stop ruining it.
That's all terrible things combined.
No, wait, was it? Hang on a second. Was it that or was it Fountainhead?
Oh, one of those two shitty things.
Fountainhead. Yes, that. Yeah.
I need to be fair though. I haven't read either of the books. I heard they're well written, but still, I'm not touching that.
Well, going by
Fountainhead's fantastic, and Atlas Shrugged. If you, I don't. So part of the other problem that we have here, Dom, which I'm sure is not news to you, is we're not big on subtlety of meaning. So it's like I can't find anybody who is like Ayn Rand is like, well, you have to either believe everything she says 100% or she's full of shit. And I'm like, can't we just like take the bits that are good? Like
she can be full of shit and still write a book that is enjoyable to read.
Well, yes, but basically it's her stuff is so grounded in her thoughts about objectivism that you kind of almost can't separate the two. It's like if you watched oh crap, it's
Triumph of Will,
based on actually there was a recent movie with that title which freaks me out every time I see it. It's based on Fritjof Capra's The Turning Point. But yeah, it's an enjoyable film because it's John Hurd and Sam Waterston and Liv Ullmann, and it's just the three of them. And they're fun to watch, but they're talking about like philosophical and social and stuff. So it's like, well, this is entertaining, but it's still what it is so ingrained with what it's trying to tell you. Oh my God, it's trying to teach, man, it help me. That you kind of can't get away from it. But like there's a lot in Atlas Shrugged. I constantly am looking around and telling people, you do realize we're in the final third of Atlas Shrugged right now, right? You know that, right? So it's worth checking out.
Thankfully, I have a lot of other books to read. So.
No, it's fine.
I believe you. Totally believe you. It's just, I know I will be enraged when I read it. At the same, I was enraged when I read some of Nick Hornby. I threw a book of Nick Hornby against the wall because one of the sentences was too good. And with Ayn Rand, I would probably be pissed because it's good and pissed because I don't agree with her.
Oh yeah, I've you know what? I think the one time I have thrown something that I've read across the room was the Watchmen screenplay. Not the one that got filmed, but the one that
Gilliam?
No, it wasn't Gilliam. This was one that God, what is the guy's fucking name?
The guy who wrote the Batman script.
Yes.
I remember you've told this story.
Yes.
Goyer?
No, not Goyer.
No, the '89 Batman.
Oh.
Yeah, hang on.
Forgot his name.
God, why can't I've lost all of my names.
Oh, I forget all the names. The guy who wrote the Tim Burton Batman?
Sam Hamm.
Sam Hamm.
Sam Hamm.
It's the guy with the pumpkin head, right?
What's that?
The guy with the pumpkin head?
Okay, Linus. But basically, it was amazing until the last 10 pages, and their replacement for the space squid was so fucking horrible.
What was it?
Okay, so basically, the script is amazing. It actually added stuff that I didn't know was not in the graphic novel. It was so good. And instead of the space squid, what Ozymandias' thing, spoilers, by the way, what Ozymandias' thing is Dr. Manhattan is the reason that the world is going to shit. And so the solution is he has opened a pinhole into the past. And he wants, I think his name is John Osterman, he wants Dr. Manhattan to use a sniper's rifle and kill his younger self before he can become Dr. Manhattan. And
yeah,
he does.
It doesn't work on any level. Okay.
No,
fine.
he does, and then the world turns into our world.
You do realize Damon Lindelof is actually taking notes right now.
Oh God.
Going.
But yeah, that's
how we're gonna end it.
You know, that's one of those things where you just wish for a TARDIS to show up because that's ridiculous, and if it's ridiculous, you should really have fun with it.
Yeah, it's that's why I keep saying that Zack Snyder's Watchmen may have had problems, but it's the best film you're gonna get.
Oh, that reminds me. Speaking of,
oh God,
Stephen Moffat and HBO are doing Time Traveler's Wife.
He did that already.
I know. Doing it again for HBO, which means
now I'm not familiar with Time Traveler's Wife. Is it a show in which, or a book or a movie or whatever, a book where basically you're with the wife and you keep seeing the guy come back and he's like aged 5 years, or he's like covered in radioactive waste, so it's just like the entire book is spent with her having to deal with him going away and being away for like 30 years in his time, but coming back 5 minutes later and all kinds of shit has happened. Because I would think that would be hilarious.
I like your pitch better.
Yeah, give it titles like Friends, like the one where the lobster people ruled Boston.
Yes. I think that's how Legends of Tomorrow is going now, WEJ. So,
which I obviously need to catch up on because that sounds amazing.
Well, you can't spoil anything, but the last season vanquished a demon using a talking fuzzy animal.
It was bonkers.
It was bonkers. It achieved the batshitness it needed to have,
and it just doesn't care. That's what
it doesn't care.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
True. The whole season, you will be thinking, what are they going to do with that little thing that keeps popping up?
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
But yes, what was it? Around somewhere in the middle of season 2, they decided to drop trying to eschew the Arrowverse and just be batshit crazy. Finally, I think somewhere around midpoint of season 2, it feels like they just decided to throw everything in.
They shot the shark pretty much.
Yes, basically, yeah. And the show's been great. The show's been better for it, I think.
So, and didn't, and again, spoilers, didn't like Rip die or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Sadly.
So Arthur Darvill basically fled the series?
At some point, yes, because they'd already done like 3 permutations of the character, so.
And he played it very earnest and serious, but very enjoyable.
Yeah.
And the other thing, too, is the time show, so he can always come back. But I think
he's used to that.
I'm guessing that, he left the one time to go do Broadchurch. He left another time to go do Once. I think that he's just got a lot of other work going on, and that show just tends to write people off as they're working and then write them back in. I think they're very user-friendly with that.
Yeah. Sean Bean wouldn't like that.
Being killed off over and over again.
Being brought back.
Yeah, if that's the reveal at Game of Thrones, at the end of it, if Sean Bean's the villain.
It would be awesome though if he woke up and it's like, I'm pissed, I'm going to kill everybody.
Actually, I want them to reboot Sliders with Sean Bean in it.
Sliders.
Wow! Wait a minute.
As long as we bring back Jerry O'Connell.
Why haven't they rebooted Sliders? They're working on rebooting everything fucking else.
I know,
because
right?
Nobody aside from people like us remember Sliders.
No, I know they are, but I'm just surprised I haven't heard about it.
Who's got Universal? Last I heard had the rights, so
yeah, I mean that makes sense.
So
surely
I'm surprised. Well, 12 Monkeys is kind of like that, and Sci-Fi just got done with that. So
did anyone watch to the end of 12 Monkeys?
Did anyone watch to the end of Sliders?
Probably Lee.
Probably, yeah. Where is Lee, by the way? She hasn't been on a show since 2000 something.
I think she's on house arrest. I don't remember.
No, currently she's on vacation.
She is back from vacation.
She's back from vacation. All right.
Oh.
So, what was I thinking? I was thinking something.
You're always thinking something.
I know, I'm always thinking something. I can't stop thinking things. Just remember, people, these things that I think them so you don't have to. You're welcome.
Sliders.
Now you're making me hungry. No.
Yes, with extra pickles and mustard.
Yeah.
And bacon.
By the way, why didn't nobody tell me last time when I was on here that there is actually a Blu-ray release of Quantum Leap since January?
Is there?
Yeah. I was surprised too.
Hey, there's a Blu-ray release of Quantum Leap. It's been out since January. It's got extra bonus with it as well.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
You were going to say extra bonus features?
If you do a reboot of Sliders, at one point they have to slide into a universe where they meet the Earth 3 versions of the original Sliders team, played by the original Sliders team.
Yes.
John Rhys Davies is listening.
Jerry O'Connell's listening.
I love John Rhys Davies.
Yeah, I love him too.
Hasn't he got like a mystery, like kind of a castle-like mystery show that's coming out?
You know what? Oh, I thought you meant John Rhys Davies.
No. He's actually been on Midsummer, I think. So
but see, okay.
Everybody goes through Midsummers.
No, everyone does. By
the way, has Kim shared with you her theory that Joyce is actually a serial killer?
No, but I would love to hear it.
Get her to tell you how her theory of Joyce Barnaby being a serial killer comes.
Well, I did want to put a website together at one point that actually codified the theory that Angela Lansbury was actually the killer in every episode of Murder, She Wrote.
It's a very popular theory, actually.
But no, honestly, when you said a castle mystery type show, my mind instantly went to John Rhys Davies, a mystery show set in a castle. That's why I was like, oh. And then when I thought about it, I was like, well, it sounds like something he must have been doing for the past 15 years because it's so...
Him.
It's such a no-brainer.
Dom, do you like Quantum Leap? Is that a thing for you?
I love it.
Really?
Yes, of course.
I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to do you a huge fucking favor.
You tell me what
But you got to bring him a lighthouse. If you don't get him a lighthouse, you may not get it.
He's got Bakula around town like 3 or 4 times a year. So next time I see him, I'm going to get you an autograph.
What are you going to give him?
I'm going to get you an autograph.
Oh, God, that would be so sweet.
His sister lives like 5 blocks from where I live. So he's always around when he's in town. Like, pretty much if you live in St. Louis, you will at some point see either John Hamm, Scott Bakula, or Sterling Brown somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I saw Sterling Brown at Starbucks the other day. It was awesome.
Did he look like he was about to cry?
No. He looked like a man who wanted a coffee.
He looked like WEJ.
No.
Well, sometimes that's also crying.
Okay, now this we now have to find. Here, I was looking on John Rhys Davies' Wikipedia page, which is always right, and it says under the voice work thing, which he's been doing some of recently. In 2016, he provided spoken words for Voices of Fire, the 6th album by a cappella power metal band Van Canto. Not power metal band Van Canto, but a cappella power metal band Van Canto.
They're actually from Germany.
Of course.
And they're pretty awesome. But I didn't know that John Rhys Davies did anything for them.
Wow.
A good friend of mine actually has a signed poster by them and kind of knows a few people there. It's a very small band. I don't know. What, did they explode?
I don't know. I'm looking at their Wikipedia entry, which is again always right.
No, check out their YouTube videos. Van Canto, Kings of Metal. They cover a lot of stuff. Pretty awesome.
So it's like what, Apocalyptica if no one bothered to learn instruments.
Yes.
And people could sing, yeah.
That's right. It's Apocalyptica merged with Sha Na Na.
It's me first thinking, but entirely different.
Yeah, that's like most things.
Although Rob, didn't the Future Heads do a couple of albums that were basically a cappella punk?
They did an entire a cappella album. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I do not need to remember.
And but they've done a couple of things since, and that's basically all they've done because they haven't put out a proper album since. They've just been putting out a cappella singles.
I thought they've done an album, but I could be wrong.
Have they? Okay.
I don't know. So,
well, that's the thing, though, is that basically how punk is it to put out an a cappella punk album and not give a shit about what anyone thinks about your a cappella punk album?
Exactly.
That's true, but so John Rhys Davies is actually doing what Christopher Lee had been doing the last few years.
Oh, but Christopher Lee took it to a completely different level.
Christopher Lee was awesome. I mean, he did at least one album that was really brilliant, and his Christmas songs were awesome.
Yeah, his whole Charlemagne metal opera rock thing.
That's a brilliant album.
Insane. It was insane. But again, it's Christopher Lee. It's like, dude, what do you want to do? Do you want to learn to work marionettes? I'll watch it. What do you want to do? You want to do a cooking show? I would fucking love a Christopher Lee cooking show. Speaking of which,
hey, WEJ.
Hey, Dom. So, speaking of which, so I started playing the Walking Dead augmented reality game, Our World, where it basically uses Google Maps to put...
I saw you posting pictures of like Carol going through your pantry.
Yes. So basically, it makes up for its tediousness in that you can unlock characters and then you can basically you can play the game like, you know, I did a round shooting zombies in my library, right? You can put it anywhere. But you also get, when you get the characters and the gear and the whatever else, you can augment reality that too, so you can basically have them standing wherever you want them to, and they have 8 poses apiece. And so, yeah, the reason I am mostly playing this game now is to unlock characters from The Walking Dead, so I can, like, at some point, if I have all the characters, I am going to go to the fucking Atlanta Zoo, and I'm going to have Walking Dead go to the zoo, and I'm going to have all the characters hanging out at the zoo, because this amuses me more than I can tell you.
Okay, we'll write down which started playing a game. Okay.
Oh no!
This is not the only one he's playing.
No. I remember I play every Civilization game that comes out, and then I delete it before it consumes my life. But I've also been playing Marvel Strike Force because it is fun. And here's the thing too. There's so much to fucking do in that game. I never, like, if it's a free game that you can pay to get like augmentation or whatever, I never pay to do that. I always try to do it the free way. But there is so much shit going on in this game. I actually felt bad that I was playing it for free. So I've basically I'm like, okay, each month I'll buy one of those $5 power packs just so I can feel like I'm, contributing.
Were you joking or are you actually playing Fortnite?
Oh, no. I tried playing Fortnite.
Okay.
What?
No, I did. Now because I kept seeing fucking stories about it. And then one day, because I go into the App Store and I'm about to update shit, and I see, oh wait, this is like an iPhone thing. Okay, let me download it. So it's kind of like, it's worse than my experience playing Halo, in that you're dropped into a situation where you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You don't know how the game works. You haven't been given any time. There's no, like, the tutorial section where they give you a place to run around. That's like 90 seconds. And the next thing you know, you're thrown out of a plane and people are killing you. And I'm like, I don't understand how this is a good time. This is not fun.
Well, okay, so the key to Fortnite is being a coward.
Okay.
That really, don't drop where everybody else is dropping. Just go.
Oh, I tried.
Go and hide in a building for like 20 minutes. Wait for the eye of the storm to move. Then make sure you're in the eye of the storm. It doesn't get real until like the last 10 people in the game, and then it just becomes a sniping field.
Well, it was real enough. I'll put it that way. I mean,
if you drop at the wrong point, you're going to get killed anyway, because
there's no right point.
Yeah.
I tried. I was like, okay, here's the deal. I'll go immediately, and then I'll like haul ass over to this other side of the fucking. Yeah. No, that didn't work. All right, well, I'm going to wait, and then I'll just drop right. No, that didn't work. Oh, how about I just veer? No, it didn't work. Literally, someone was shooting at me within seconds of me being on the ground.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is ridiculous.
I mean, here's the thing about Fortnite. The thing about Fortnite is it looks like my first dystopia. It's colorful, it's animated shooter kind of thing. So right. if you're not into the grays of PUBG, at least you get something colorful. The other part of it is you are just as likely to get dusted five seconds in as you are to make it at least to the final four.
Okay, Toughly, you've obviously never seen me play a video game. Like, this is like, it was worse than Halo, because Halo, at least,
waiting to happen, people.
At least Halo, I'm like, you hand me the Xbox controller, and I'm like, there's two fucking buttons on the front of each thing, and I got triggers on both sides, and I got a joystick on one side, and I got 6 buttons over here. I'm like, this is like Defender. I didn't like Defender either. and what killed me was I'm playing with Bailey, and Bailey's like, hit the white button, the white button. I'm like, I'm watching the screen. I can't sense colors with my thumbs. This is a fucked up controller if I need to know which one the white one is with my thumbs. I'm like, put some kind of a texture on it, something. It's fucked up. But with Fortnite, it's like, I know how to use a phone. I know how to tap on a phone screen.
See, the other thing is, you can't play against PlayStation players, but well, you can actually. You can play against. There are certain consoles you can't play with each other, but there is a cross-platform thing where people on consoles can play you on the phone.
So basically, and they call those kill zones, I guess, because you're tapping away while they've got a fucking controller with 23 triggers and buttons on it and shit, and they're 12 and they don't have anything else better to do.
Yeah, well, NHL 94 mode, there's 2 buttons.
NHL
what? There's in the NHL games, they have now specifically.
Oh, sorry.
In the NHL games, they now specifically have a mode for either older players, shall we say, or
thanks, Tuffley,
or beginners. Well, I was talking about me actually because I actually play that game. I am nothing but self-deprecation.
Hey, WEJ, here's a game even you could play. They got it down to 2 buttons.
There's a control mode that they've put into NHL games, which is NHL 94 mode, which is basically the same controls from NHL 94 in the modern NHL games.
Nice.
So
okay.
Like the one time they took 94 mode out, people bitched and it was their lowest selling game.
Nice.
And they put it back in.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that is one of those games where they need to have the sales because there are millions of players who just buy each and every iteration of those games when they come out. It's in Germany and in Europe, it's soccer, and for you, it's NHL.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
The weird thing is, and I commented on this when they did the E3 thing. The interesting part of like what they've done in a couple of like the EA Sports games now is that they've put in like these single player, like sort of RPG like quest modes in the games. I know in particular they've done it in FIFA and they did it in Madden, where they've had these sort of narratives. Right, like the journey mode, where they'll have like
they're probably trying to get players like me who don't care about the sports.
Like they're BioWaring like the EA Sports games.
Here's my thing about this: if there is a mode where I can arm my players with guns, I might consider playing this game because I just hate sports games.
FIFA Call of Duty edition.
Yeah, just mix it up a little. Why not?
That's okay. So here's a potential project for us to do.
Wasn't there a football game that was like that at one point? Like, wasn't there a football game that involved
the XF?
No. There was it was what was it, Blitz or something? It was a series that used to have that lost their NFL players licenses. I think it was Blitz.
Blitz.
And yeah, that was the name.
I think you're thinking of Arnold Schwarzenegger's The Running Man.
No. It was actually a video game series that came out on the consoles, and they lost the rights to the NFL stuff.
Yeah, there was an NFL Blitz. I was just playing it last weekend, but the arcade version.
Yeah, and then I don't know if it was weapons, but I know they went to like, I don't know if it was weapons, but I know it was like weaponized.
Well, you literally were throwing yourself and body slamming and
yeah. And I know they switched to that more once they lost the NFL license, because I knew there was a soccer game like that too, where you could actually just remove all of the rules.
Oh yeah, that's every weekend in Brazil.
Yeah, but no, I know it's interesting. It's just because we were talking about BioWare basically developing Anthem and the whole thing about, well, they're basically going in the opposite direction of games they've developed previously. And we were trying to figure out who the audience is for. And I said something about, well, they're putting the quest modes into the EA Sports games. And I just find that fascinating.
So is this where you get to play as Questlove?
Yes. And it's amazing because as a drummer, he has no foot skills. So
yes, but those drumsticks make amazing
double bass. There are foot skills involved with drumming.
That was the joke.
Jokes are funny when you explain them.
That's my hobby, actually. I'm German. Don't forget. Honestly, I love to explain jokes.
So I have an idea for a project.
What?
Does it involve a runway?
Well, no. I have an Xbox and free time, and I'm home all the time now. WEJ, if you'd like to come over, I can just...
Oh, God, no. No, not that project. I was thinking, okay, because I saw something about fantasy football, right? And I was like, no. I don't know what fantasy football is. I don't like real football. But what I thought was, what if you put together like a hardcore, like a seemingly hardcore fantasy football, but for some other sport, like fantasy foosball, right? And you had put together a website and you made it look like it was like this. Oh, it's this huge thing, fantasy foosball, and just see how many people come on board because it's supposed to be the next big thing, and it's foosball.
And you create fake profiles for players?
No. Oh,
Didn't they do that with Overwatch?
Well, they did that with what?
Didn't they do that with Overwatch?
I don't know what Overwatch is. Is that a Warren Ellis book?
No, see, this is great. We should do like video game content with WEJ. It's just something waiting to happen. Again, I'm home now and I have an Xbox and a camera, WEJ. I'm just saying.
Very sorry.
Oh my.
It's already been done.
Not with WEJ.
Oh, fantasy football?
Dear God. But anyway, so there you go. That's and if we don't free idea for someone else, it doesn't have to be foosball, fantasy badminton, it doesn't matter. Fantasy lawn darts, I don't care.
No, we'll get Lee involved. It'll be fantasy curling. Lee and Kim will manage the entire thing.
Well, yeah, but how do we know how do we know who the real players are and who the fake players are?
We don't. That's the changers. It doesn't matter.
This one seems made up. Nikolai Tesla?
The people in Indiana and Wisconsin are going to go nuts.
Oh, no, Dom. That's just it. What we do is we set it up to where they have like alter egos, like in roller derby. Come up with awesome roller derby-esque curling names.
Like the XFL of curling.
Oh, now you're talking.
There you go. Extreme sports curling. No, you're on something.
We'll have the players come on and do the technique of the day. Give you pro tips, how to get strong forearms.
One of those players just actually was a bowling pro and just thought, if I can bowl, I can curl.
Oh, now
Dom,
athletes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Dom. Now you're pitching the movie about the guy who gets hurt bowling and can't bowl anymore, and so he gets recruited.
Cool curlings.
He gets no. It's not. It's not like Cool Running where
the Haitian curling team.
It's no. I was thinking Venice, California.
No. We're talking about two separate projects. Cool Runnings 2, curling. That is one thing. But I just like that you know that it's like okay, here's an example. Cutting Edge. Like John Cusack was a hockey player, got hurt, couldn't play hockey anymore, switched to figure skating. So it's like it's that movie, but like bowling, and I don't know what you could possibly injure to not be able to bowl, but I'm sure we could come up with something.
It's the sequel to Kingpin, WEJ.
He sprained one of his testicles and he can't play bowling anymore. So now, but he's been recruited because he's a natural for curling.
Seriously, Kevin Costner has not made a curling movie.
What?
Kevin Costner has never made a curling movie.
I'm genuinely surprised.
Well, if you film it, he will come.
Just take one of those big scripts about baseball and just change the game, you know.
You get
if you build it, they will sweep.
James Earl Jones to narrate it.
No, he's out as the black narrator voice.
It's Paul Freeman now.
Yeah, we're currently at Dennis Haysbert.
Oh,
right?
Kevin
Costner, you got to remember.
Was there a meeting?
Yeah. Remember, there's a list, right? And you've got Keith David, Samuel L. Jackson, James Earl Jones, Morgan Freeman, and now David Haysbert.
Dennis Haysbert.
It's great.
Keith David. It's awesome.
So it's curling the franchise.
Yeah, and then I think, like I said, your Cool Runnings 2 is your movie, and then you're curling. Well, they can both be features, actually. Well, I mean, every feature could be a television show. Just start with a feature. That makes the most sense.
Well, every feature can be a television show and an ARG now.
And a Broadway musical and a breakfast cereal.
And a cookbook.
Yep.
Curling, the board game, the movie, the series.
Man, I loved me some Olympic curling. That was awesome.
See, Dom, you laugh, but...
No, I don't laugh. I meant it very seriously.
No, A Few Good Men, when they adapted it for the screen, they made some changes to it that the original playwright liked so much, he changed the play to reflect the screenplay. So now it's A Few Good Men, a play based on a screenplay, which was based on the play A Few Good Men.
Yeah, well, that's how creativity works. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Well, it's A Few Good Men special edition.
A few more good men.
A Few Good Men, the Zack Snyder cut.
The prequel.
God. Yeah, I don't want to talk about prequels until somebody does my Shaft prequel with Idris Elba as Richard Roundtree's grandfather, set in like the 1920s and directed by the people who brought you John Wick.
Oh.
Yeah. How would that not be awesome?
No matter how bad it would be awesome.
John Wick stunts, but with Prohibition era, like guns and cars, and somebody came up with that on Twitter, and I was like, oh fuck, that needs to happen. But anyway. So we should probably mosey towards recommendations.
Recommendation.
Oh, that means it's time for me to look up something to recommend.
I'll give you some time.
Thank you.
So, Tuffley, what have you got?
Janelle Monáe is currently on tour. If you get a chance to check out one of those shows, please go, because she is fucking awesome, and she's going to be playing bigger houses very, very soon. That was a killer. That was a killer show. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, Janelle Monáe. If you want to check out some really cool live stuff, Janelle Monáe is now touring behind Dirty Computer, which is also a very good album. Video game wise, there was a game that came out 2 years ago. It was a heavily hyped game called No Man's Sky.
Right. Yeah. Even I heard of that one.
There was a thing
that came out 2 years ago promising the moon and the stars literally, and failed to deliver on pretty much everything they said was in the game, because that's what happens when games journalism overhypes stuff. But apparently, during the time that no one was paying attention to this game anymore, the developers continued to update it, and apparently it's good now.
What did they change? Because I remember you guys talking about it, that it was like kind of pointless and weird or something.
Yeah, so what they originally promised was that it was supposed to be a kind of a space exploration game with, procedurally generated planets, so you'd never run out of stuff to do. And the problem was they didn't put enough of, I guess, a game structure behind the sandbox element. So basically, they dropped you. The original version of the game is they dropped you on a planet. They gave you a vague idea of a overarching kind of plot, and then they basically set you loose and didn't really give you any idea of how to do anything. Basically,
so it's kind of like Fortnite, but without the guns.
Kind of, okay. And fewer people and fewer things to interact with, and that was the game as it was released. It wasn't what they promised. They promised multiplayer. They promised you could interact with people. They promised a lot of, they promised a lot of things. But they have apparently, like I said, while no one was paying attention to this game in the 2 years since it came out and it kind of dudded, they continue to add updates and content and meaningful things to it. And now I think they've kind of re-updated everything, which is a version of it called No Man's Sky Next, which is specifically for the Xbox release, but they have added all the content. So if you have the PlayStation version, or if you have a version from anything else, it should be, once you reload it, it will upgrade to everything. And it's added some context. It's added a bunch of quest missions. It's added a lot of direction to the game, and a nice graphics overhaul. So it's almost everything they promised in the original game at this point. And they're still apparently adding stuff to it. So it's actually become quite decent. So if you bailed on No Man's Sky 2 years ago, give it a try again, and it might be closer to the game you wanted in the first place. So that, and I will throw in, because I don't think I recommended it already, but the Doctor Who season 12 set on Blu-ray, which is Tom Baker's first season. That's out on Blu-ray, and it's a show from the 70s that was shot on video. There's no way they're getting visual enhancements on the Blu-ray, but there are a lot of nice extra stuff on it, and they did new extra stuff in addition to the stuff that was in the previous releases. So you get all the extras from the previous releases, plus a couple of new things they've kicked in, plus some Tom Baker stuff, which I believe is a couple of new Tom Baker interviews, which are obviously worth the price of admission, because new Tom Baker interviews sometimes contradict old Tom Baker interviews, which makes it fun.
And it's also mellow. Well, no, he's reflected upon, like, for a while he wanted nothing to do with it. He was really bitter about it. Now he's kind of like, wow, this really is a legacy thing.
Yeah. Well, also because he's taking himself less seriously at this point.
Yeah.
Which is also nice, because I know at one point he was trying to kind of get past the whole I was on a sci-fi show thing, and now he's kind of embraced it and he doesn't care. So it's nice. It's nice to see that. But also because there are some things where he's told stories where his memory is either not actually, it's exaggerated. I won't say a memory thing, but his exaggerations get better, which is nice. But yeah, check that out. It's the season 12 set of Doctor Who, which is also kind of it's the first time they've released an old show in the season format. I think they've done it twice before when it was on DVD, which were larger sets, but the price point seems to work better this time. So we'll see how that does. But I enjoyed the set. It's a lot of nice content, and it's a lot of good stuff put together. So there you go.
Cool. Thanks, Duffley. All right, who's next? All right, go, Rob.
Excuse me. All right, I'm gonna first of all sort of piggyback off of that. I've been watching, because I have to prep for Dragon Con, the new series of Doctor Who season 4, the entire season with Catherine Tate in it. And I haven't seen a lot of these since they aired the first time, but they're really, really solid. She's really
good in that.
Yeah, and even the stories that aren't particularly great, he and her both in them are great. Even the very, very first one, Partners in Crime, which is a terrible story, that has this whole 3-minute pantomime thing in it. It's like watching a Buster Keaton piece. It's great. So I do want to recommend that. I think it's out on Blu-ray too, but you can just get it whichever version you want. And then this is one of those weird things that I heard about, and then I mentioned it to WEJ to make sure I wasn't going insane. But yes, there is a new John Coltrane album out. It is called Both Directions at Once. It's basically this John Coltrane record that's been sitting around in storage forever, and now it's out. So it's out on Spotify too, so you can listen to it.
And I believe that's the original quartet.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's like, hey, wait a minute, there's a new but it's the original quartet, and it's pretty awesome. So I do want to say that. The other thing too is the graphic novel Sabrina by Nick Damaso. It is the first graphic novel to win the Booker Prize, which is a pretty big freaking deal. And as a piece of literature, it's really great. And as a graphic novel, it's dense, it's really intense, it's compact, and it really works. So if you only read one graphic novel this year, I recommend that one. The other two things one of them is kind of silly. In the world of kitsch for the podcast, Songs I Taught My Mother, which is the album Charlotte Rae made in the 60s. It's Charlotte Rae basically singing all these crazy show tune songs, and it's kind of camp and silly and weird, but they're songs that her mom loved, and she sang them on a record. So it's very weird too. It's just kind of odd and out there. So I want to recommend that. And then, as if the world couldn't get any weirder, there's a new Underworld and Iggy Pop EP called Dub Encounters. It's really, really. Did I steal yours, WEJ?
I don't care because it's insane. It's again, there were several times in the last month where I called WEJ because, am I right? Iggy Pop's made a record with Underworld, followed later by, is there a new John Coltrane record? And so all of these things were actually true and frightening. Excuse me. So yeah, that Iggy Pop Underworld thing is called Dub Encounters. He basically makes fun of himself. There's a whole 7-minute song about like, I can't find my shirt, and it's all sung by Iggy Pop, and it's hilarious. So, and that's all I got. Ding. All right, cool. Thanks, Rob. Madman, what you got?
Oh, hey.
Hey.
All right. I was muted. My bad. Yeah. Sorry. I'm a tad bit out of it. It's been a long day.
I understand.
As usual, I've got a running toy collection. Hasbro decided that it would like me to live in poverty. And so they this month Hasbro dropped their entire pretty much 10-year anniversary collection. It's Marvel's the first 10 years. So they're doing the first 10 years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe figures. And they're slowly releasing those in waves. So I picked up Thor and Sif from the very first Thor movie. I also ended up picking up Ronan the Accuser from the very first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Both of those are actually pretty nice. These are
rescales from the original figures, right? These are new.
Yes.
New
well, so here's the deal: Sif never got a figure at all. From the movies. So
yeah, I know there was a Diamond Select one. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was not an actual Hasbro Legend series figure, and this is the first 10 years of their Marvel Studios. They're in black and red boxes. So like with the Ant-Man, you get an Ant-Man, but you also get Yellow Jacket that did not ever get a character created from that first Ant-Man movie. Ronan was not, he's actually a single carded character from Guardians that never got a figure. But they also started releasing multiple waves for end of year. And so this week, I forgot, as part of the first 10 years pack or whatever that they're dropping, I got the Michael B. Jordan Killmonger and the Everett Ross from Black Panther, who tends to hang out with Dr. Stephen Strange, who we all know they're really just, hey, I'm just actually doing Sherlock at my house on a shelf. That's really what's happening with that, because Strange is modeled after Cumberbatch. So
is there a Luther action figure? Because you could put that right next to it to make a little fan fiction.
Exactly. Unfortunately, there are no characters modeled after Idris yet. If they make a Heimdall, that's the first thing I'm going to do.
The Doctor movie was so good, there will probably be another one of those.
Right. And so they dropped a a Venom series. So it's Venom, Toxin, a beautiful Carnage figure and a Spider-Ham figure.
Oh God!
So yes, we're gonna get that.
Yes. So you do have Spider-Ham here.
We're gonna get that.
Yeah, I actually like him, and it gives you an alternate body with an alternate head for his nemesis, Pork Grind. As you can see, it's a pig-headed version of Venom, right? And
the other set that line?
Yes, and I got the X-Men Apocalypse Build-A-Figure set, and that
so they got the new Storm out, because that's what I was trying. That's what I was after.
And she and Psylocke are the crown jewels of this thing, besides the Build-A-Figure.
Yeah.
Storm looks pretty good. I keep saying this is my favorite iteration of Storm, simply because when I was growing up, I'm a '90s kid, so like Storm, Mohawk, and the leather vest beating the snot out of no powers. She was my favorite Storm, and I'm glad to have that version. And finally,
yeah, I'm getting that one too. I'm just basically, I'm making notes now. I'm buying this.
Just make a list.
I know.
Just make a list. But yeah, so that's kind of my recommendations for the week. They're getting harder to find, even though they just dropped, because toy collectors and scalpers do what they do. I was fortunate
There's no more Toys R Us.
Right. But then, and you would think that would make things easier, right?
No.
And not so. But those were my pickups for the week. That I would recommend. I would recommend everyone grabbing Spider-Ham. Spider-Ham deserves all the love he can get.
That is awesome.
That is the next logical step after I can't believe they're doing a Rocket Raccoon, in a film, to I can't believe we're seeing Spider-Ham as a figure, as an action figure.
I mean, Spider-Verse.
We got the Howard the Duck walk-on in Guardians.
Well, I mean, Spider-Verse is happening as a film. That's happening. So theoretically, they haven't said, but you're probably getting Spider-Ham. So, I mean, we know from the second trailer Gwen's in it. So,
well, and I understand. I think he is in it, Spider-Ham.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that one. Yeah, he's actually doing another different style of run, even in the comics recently.
Yeah.
With all of the Spider people. So all of these people are kind of sticking around at this point.
Cool.
So those are my recommendations. Yeah. Cool. Oh, that and the 50 Days of Dragon Con podcast for people that are headed to Dragon Con and never been to Dragon Con before. Yeah, we'd like to recommend that. John and I and pretty much half of this podcast have all been substituting in on that while Lee has been at the Betty Ford Clinic.
Are you saying she's working on detox?
I don't know about working on detox. I know there are several empty wine bottles.
They're detoxed.
I don't know about working. All right, cool. Thanks, Madman. All right.
Thank you.
Dom, what you got?
Oh, time for me. Since pretty much all of us, aside from Madman, suggested something Doctor Who related, I would just point out that the Doctor Who magazine, the official magazine, is actually pretty good. I picked up some issues when I was, issues and also magazines, when I was in England the past few months and stuck in airports, had time to read. They're really good. I mean, you really have to be into Doctor Who to really enjoy them. It's really... It is what it is. It is a fan magazine, but if you like to read about the world of Doctor Who, it's pretty good. I think it's not too pricey if you can get your hands on it, because I think a single issue costs about £5 in the UK, and I picked up the same issue or one of those issues at a German airport, and there it was about 3 times that price. So it can be tough, but you can subscribe digitally to it. So that's just a heads up that this is really, if you're into it and you need to scratch that itch, I think the official magazine is pretty good. Our resident Who experts might disagree. I don't know. I'm waiting for a microphone to be demuted.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello. No, the times that I've read the magazine, they've generally been pretty good. I think I've only seen the countdown issues though, but generally they're pretty good. And I've got some books based on material from the magazine, so It's pretty cool.
They also bring out specials. So, with something that I figured out, I once bought at I think Humble Bundle the role-playing game of Doctor Who, and if you need solid background info, then the special issues of the magazine are really helpful, because I have one that is just dealing with alien invasions. I think it should be 3 times as big, because there are probably a lot more than they mentioned. But that really helps if you don't have, if you need to refresh your memory about all those storylines that happened over the years, or you haven't watched them all like I have. I think nobody has watched them all, because there's so many lost ones still out there. Maybe a few people alive may have seen all of the episodes. And something completely different, and something that I do not endorse, but I think has gotten pretty interesting, is Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. The last season is really weird, because it has some high points, like the last episode with Jerry Lewis, which is really heartwarming and sad in a way, because it is I think, his last bow, so to speak, and not that weird, terrible interview that happened half a year ago, I think. You can find that under interview Jerry Lewis terrible or something like that, if you look it up, because that went off the rails because it was grumpy and pissed and didn't want to be interviewed. But in Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, it's pretty much just Jerry Lewis, you're awesome, I'm a fan of yours, by Jerry Seinfeld. And that is enjoyable. But some episodes of that season, you can just feel that Jerry Seinfeld is a little bit out of touch with society, I think.
Yeah. It's not my wife.
Is this the Netflix one? Is this the first Netflix?
Yeah, that's Netflix.
Yeah.
I think it's the 3rd season already on Netflix. I'm not sure, but it's the recent one. And there were some moments when he tells Zach Galifianakis, you should just relax and calm down because you're successful and don't be nervous. And Zach Galifianakis looks at him like, dude, I'm just nervous. I'm just insecure. And they just edit out the awkwardness a little bit. But there are some moments when you feel like, wow, your comedy just wouldn't work today, would it? Not at all. If you were still doing a TV series and had a lot of influence on the writing. Well, and the worst was for me the episode with Alec Baldwin, because that felt like, wow, today we cannot make any jokes anymore because then we offend people. Isn't that true, Jerry? Yes, that's true, Alec. Okay, thank you.
Well, I think the thing is, and you sort of look at, some of the stuff Jerry's doing now, and you look at some of the stuff that, if you look at like Curb Your Enthusiasm, right? Yeah. It's sort of like, okay, you can kind of see where that pairing, as far as Larry David and Seinfeld worked as writers on that show, mm-hmm. Whereas they don't work very well apart. So,
yeah, well, I think Curb Your Enthusiasm works alone.
Yes,
but it is as awkward as it wants to be, and Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee is not trying to be awkward. It's just awkward because Jerry is just, I'm rich and I haven't been out in the real world for a long time. And those kids with their political correctness, I don't know, get off my lawn.
He said to Ellen something along the lines of, I know you don't like penises, but
yeah.
And it was like, she's like, I never said I didn't.
I mean, there's one moment that I like when he's what's her name? McKenna? I'm not sure. From Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, yes.
We're so bad with names.
Not Kyle. What she was in Ghostbusters. She's
Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon.
Thank you. And that is a nice interaction because it is harmless in a way, but he's a second before probing her. What is it like to be a lesbian? Tell me, I want to know. And I mean, it's okay when she tells him, girls don't care if I have to. Well, if I wear a lot of makeup or not. And he's like, whoa, that's nice. That's kind of okay for me, but it really feels like, tell me, I want to know everything. Do you like it when you see yourself in the mirror? I don't know, because I'm straight and I have no idea. It feels just a little bit uncomfortable. I don't know. And that's why I'm recommending, but not endorsing. It's quite interesting. Ding.
Nice. All right. Thanks, Tom. John, what have you got?
I too would like to recommend 50 Days of Dragon Con. I had something on the top of my head that I wanted to recommend, and then I got engaged with Dom's
non-recommendation.
Oh, I do want to point out, I did recently see him he is actually doing new material.
Me? Yes.
Yeah, Dom is doing new material, and he was appearing here at the Ruth Eckerd Hall, and he was quite good. And also Jerry Seinfeld opened for him.
I'm not endorsing him.
Not endorsing him. Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. Rift Tracks. So Rift Tracks is doing a crawl here in a couple of weeks.
I have seen so many people who are so pissed that they're doing that, and I'm just like, I need to go see this now.
Why would people be upset?
Like Crawl is like some sort of cherished piece of art. Come on, guys. I know, exactly. I know. It's like just for the just for those people that I've seen messages about, I have to go. Now I have to support this. Now I have to throw money at it. Absolutely.
Unfortunately, you can't buy that through needcoffee.com. But you can probably find stuff by Rift Tracks on Amazon.com, which you can get to through needcoffee.com/Amazon/hey, it's those other people.
So Crawl, is that August 20th?
It's August 23rd.
Okay.
But you could buy the movie Crawl on Amazon, right?
Yes, you could. That's a very good point, Tom.
Get to see very young Liam Neeson.
Is there a Blu-ray version of that?
Probably. I mean, we all have 10 copies. Why not a Blu-ray?
It's right next to the Quantum Leap Blu-ray.
Yeah, for me, it's alphabetical, so it's right next to K-19, the Widowmaker, which does not have Sean Connery as a super submarine captain.
Oh, I love this. I knew this existed. You two have sort of movie bundles where they sell 2 movies in one case or something.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes, we do.
On Amazon Germany, we have 80 sci-fi double feature, Krull and Space Hunter: Adventures in the Forbidden Zone.
Oh God,
nice.
That's nice.
Okay, can I just say that is an insult to Krull?
But that's a title, Space Hunter: Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. I mean,
yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
which we now have a new thing for you, where you watch the 2-packs and pair them with whatever whiskey that you decide should go with the film.
See, what needs to go with Space Hunter is Metal Storm: The Destruction of Jared Sin.
Mm.
Yep, that's much better than Krull. So, yes, they are correct. If what you can find on Amazon, you can buy on Amazon and give us kickbacks by going to needcoffee.com/Amazon, or simply going to the top of Need Coffee and clicking on that word Amazon.
Molly Ringwald is in this?
Is in what?
Space Hunter.
Oh, I'm not surprised. So, for my recommendations, I will recommend Marvel Strike Force. Why not? It's fun. It's certainly better than DC's version of Marvel Strike Force, which is shit. I downloaded it because I was like, well, I've already used up my energy on Marvel Strike. Let me try the DC one. It's kind of like, okay, imagine, if you will, that Jerry Anderson of Super Marionation Thunderbirds fame had gone into animation, but kept the same jerky motions and weird looking bodies. Those are the characters in the DC version of Marvel Strike Force. So do the Marvel one, stay away from the DC one. I would also say to what Rob said, the Underworld Iggy Pop EP is hilarious. Especially the one where he's talking about he got high on an airplane and from cocaine, and then asked for the stewardess's number, got the number but lost it because he was too high to keep up with it. and he would have preferred the stewardess. It's very amusing. Also, apart from the obvious stuff like Infinity War coming out here shortly, which better have a fuck ton of features on it, and what's his face? Michael Pena doing his synopsis of the MCU to date. I still don't know why that hasn't happened. Also, you want it. That would be amazing. And especially if you could get them to do the lip sync, like going back and like
that they keep doing an Ant-Man with him. That'd be perfect.
That would be amazing.
Or just have him do that for one of the trailers for Infinity War Part 2 to catch everybody up to speed.
Seriously, that is for me, like just like with how Two Towers should have had Galadriel doing a quick narration to catch you up. Michael Pena. What I'm trying to say is Michael Pena is the MCU's Galadriel. I think that's what I'm saying. But also coming out later this month, Universal is putting out their Legacy collection of some of their monsters on Blu-ray. Creature from the Black Lagoon and Invisible Man. This is the entire franchise, basically. Did you know there were that many Invisible Man movies? Maybe you didn't. Did you know that they eventually got to the point where it was like Invisible Agent, where he was, had taken the invisible potion and was paradropped into Europe during World War II? Not the same character, but
Come on. Chevy Chase or Kevin Bacon?
It was Chevy Bacon.
Chevy Bacon.
Chevy Bacon. It's
do you get it extra crispy or
no? But it's as Dom would know, it's Grief Bacon's cousin. So sorry.
Good grief.
Yeah. But yeah, so those would be my recommendations. There we go. So
WEJ, real quick.
Yeah.
Hot take on the God of Monsters trailer. Have you seen it?
God of Monsters.
The Godzilla movie.
Oh, King of Monsters.
King of Monsters, yeah.
Sorry. I was thinking Gods and Monsters. What that came out a long time ago. Oh my God, are they remaking that with Michael Pena? So, I
forgot to ask you about this.
I like the teaser a lot. It looks like King of Monsters is going the same direction as the first Godzilla. Well, not the first Godzilla, but this Godzilla film. Which means it probably won't be very good, because that whole. I have no problem with films having like an environment-friendly, slant on them, but it's like this whole it's kind of even more awkward than when they turned Godzilla into a hero in the Japanese Toho movies. Just because they kind of realized they couldn't put out 20 about him being bad, I guess. But it's like, monsters have to come and save us because we've ruined the planet. I'm like, no, this film should be about monsters fighting each other. I'm glad they are all bioluminescent shit. That's pretty cool. I'm glad that 11 from Stranger Things is going to make more money. That's cool. But they should have gone more Kong Island, Skull Island with it than first Godzilla film with it. Because it's just Skull Island was so much more entertaining than the first Godzilla movie. So
okay,
yeah, I don't have much hope. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah.
I'll watch it to watch the monsters fight, but
if they fight,
right. My takeaway from the trailer was like, you people have some kind of reasonable hope you're going to survive this.
But I'm like, Madman, remember in the first, this first Godzilla movie, Godzilla hardly showed up. He hardly appeared. That he was on screen on a television in the movie more, or at least equal to the amount that they actually showed him.
Theoretically, isn't this a remake of an earlier Godzilla film?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that what does that ever?
It's an updated retelling of an original.
Actually, it's been remade twice.
Japanese classic.
Because I think one of them was actually on MST. That's the one that got the rights pulled, which we have, but it isn't out on video anymore. But we have it. But
yeah, and basically it was the equivalent of Never Say Never Again, but for Godzilla, and also starred Sean Connery. So. But yeah, it's like I just came here to watch monsters fight. It's like the frustration of the first Transformers film. What ha 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 masturbation jokes. This is great. When are they gonna fight?
Well, the description on IMDb says they're going to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how much fighting is actually going to take place?
I mean, I don't know how they're going to fight. Maybe who's making the best soup? I don't know. But there's
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a monster thumb war.
It's Master Chef. That's what it is. Yeah. Master Chef Monster Edition.
I wasn't really up for a Godzilla movie. I haven't seen a Godzilla movie since the terrible Ronald Emmerich movie. But when I saw the trailer, I was like, wow, this is going to be either terrible or wonderful, and I'm up for both.
Or both. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say for another recommendation then. Find the movie Godzilla 2000.
Oh, God.
No, you have to understand. This is a perfect Godzilla movie. And in fact,
with a Puff Daddy soundtrack.
And the
soundtrack is the best
did they
part
release it? Wait. Did they release it stateside with a Puff Daddy soundtrack?
Oh, no.
That was he's talking about the Matthew Broderick one.
Oh, no. Godzilla 2000. This is basically because that one was 98, I believe.
Yeah.
And so Toho was like, they don't know how to do this. Let's show them how to do it. And
Matthew Broderick, hold our beer.
Yeah, pretty much. And let me put you this way: the closing line of that film, Bailey, who is who's the resident Godzilla fiend, we were crying. We were laughing so hard because it was so awesome and ridiculous at the same time, which is what I want from a Godzilla movie.
Yeah, either awesome, that or really, really seriously good. One of those two. Nothing
but it's so hard. But it's so hard to do that. So I'm just but this was seriously find Godzilla 2000. I think it might have been released in some areas as Godzilla
I'm
Millennium.
Watching the trailer now on the CGI is incredible.
It's amazing. It is really amazing.
Oh God, that CGI! Wow. I think Pacific Rim, the first one, that was pretty close to being serious and good.
Oh yes, no, Pacific Rim was great because it's like, and again, it offered what it had on the tin. What's on the tin? Giant robots fighting monsters. That's interesting. What's the movie about? Giant robots fighting monsters.
And Idris Elba being cool.
Yeah. It's like, what was the Gareth Edwards Godzilla movie about? I'm not sure, except for really bad military plans and cautionary tales about, I don't know, don't move a nuclear device across country on a fucking train when there's monsters like roaming the land and making things like tectonically unstable and shit. So yeah, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, never going to see that now.
Oh God, don't. But Godzilla 2000, you should watch. It's amazing. It is we had so much fun. I can't even begin to tell you. We saw it in the theater. So
usually Godzilla 2000.
What's that? And silence. What the fuck?
Neither of us wants to repeat their line. I said you probably had more fun than me watching Catwoman in the theater.
Oh, absolutely. But yes, so there you go. Other recommendations: Godzilla 2000, or I think it was called Godzilla Millennium in some places. So that brings us to the end of another episode.
Want to do introductions now?
We've done introductions. Quit confusing me. It's very easy to do.
He did want to see if that would work twice.
I mean, this time you wrote that this is totally a freaking agenda on the agenda, so I don't know.
What? Someone changed it. Lies.
I didn't know there was an agenda. Is there an agenda?
Lies!
Let's go through the agenda now.
Wait. Yeah, see new
Wait,
changes.
you want to do this again with the agenda? Oh, God.
God damn it, it was anonymous. Whoever changed it was anonymous, you bastards.
The internet group? Is that who that was?
Anyway, now it's the end of it. I'm going to end this if it kills me. We're now at the end of another episode of Weekend Justice.
Are we ever at the end of a Weekend Justice?
We are.
Scott hasn't said anything the whole time.
Now is the time that we end this by simply staring at one another in stupefaction, almost like we had just walked out of seeing Catwoman, and say, Bismarck.
Bismarck.
I got what you need. No.
Wow.
By the way, Cover Alone Again is actually really good. I will people go out and find that.
They're coming home. They're coming home.
Would you like to swing on a star?
Oh, God. Can I go pee now?
No.
Shit.
Sure.
Hey, whatever you do after you hang up is up to you, I guess. I don't know.
I'm going to bed.
Good night, man.
5:30 a.m. around here. The sun's coming up. So.
Oh, God. Oh, Dom's got to get back in his coffin. We got to run away.
Thanks, Dom.
All right. Thanks,
it's
everybody.
Sarcophagus. It's a sarcophagus.
Yeah, under the streets of Alexandria. Don't open it.
Caffeine is a hell of a drug. Nighty night, sir.
Night.